so I didn't get to see his mom or
Yeah.
hear them speak. But why I thought of him just now is because he said he has when you come into his class, he welcome, you're my favorite student, and he gives them a box. They said, look at my favorite student, and in the box he has a mirror.
You picked up that from?
Oh, that's
yeah.
an old one.
That's an old
That's
one.
an old one. But to hear a 13-year-old
Oh,
using it, to exemplify one of the highest ideals, yeah, which is to show no partiality and to move from a place of love. So, yeah, when we declare family type conferences and meetings and so on, Ligani Club is an option. Oh, yes, that's true, during the summer. Percy, summer is coming right up, right up. It is on our tail. Well, I don't know what part of your body you regard as as being closest. But it's right here. Huh? That's why summer is on it.
But as you reflect,
What am I reflecting on?
uh,
Mm-hmm.
so, so, uh, talk about that.
Hmm.
What's up? So, uh, I was road driving now. Oh, no, look at it. I am now different from myself. Remember yesterday and today we were doing prep,
Mm-hmm.
and he was a part of the last batch that came. I remember going to the national top 1,000 what last batch at that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the former minister Royal invited all the children top 1,000
To
together.
come. Dear Lord.
Certificate.
Top 10, I understand. Top 1,000.
Top 1,000.
You feel like 999?
Remember, it's a whole lot of
I know. They wanted a big group.
was 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 fast. Was from that is why on social
Yeah.
sure how we share that
The president of Peru being being brought back. Oh, Jesus.
with everybody
In handcuff.
and I mean sure the rocking chair principle.
Yes.
Yes. But somebody shared it. Whenever I'm doing anything, I use rocking chair. Is when I'm in my rocking chair and I reflect on my life.
Do not pay the penny section of the man. Keep going.
and say that the decision that I've made have been good one. That I'm feel good about it. I was just sharing with him that there's something that's called purpose. Uh, yes, important, but you never knew that time would just fly like that. We're reflecting on how quickly time has gone, and himself was saying, "Woo, where's the time gone?"
You blink and you're doing CXCs and you're on the threshold of adulthood. How does it feel?
You don't have two adult children
Yeah.
already.
Oh, so one more.
One left and you go empty chair. Call it
Empty nest, empty nest, Percy.
empty chair is another thing.
Another
You can
thing.
count.
Mhm.
To deal with situations of trauma
Yeah.
and abuse. So,
Time is flying.
time is fine.
But there are two reasons why you'll feel that time is flying. One is you're getting old, and therefore you're now craving more time.
Yeah.
When you're young, it looks like time drags. Ooh, 10 minutes is like a year.
Remember, you wanted to be older.
Yes.
I want to be a big man.
You were rushing past.
Yeah.
Because youth is seen as a time of vulnerability, a time of lack. It's a time of lack of power, lack of resources, lack of authority, and just a time when everything is tomorrow. Everything you set upon, you have to wait to get out of school, wait to get a job, wait to be promoted. And your first 20 years go by like chains dragging. You feel like you want it to be a blur, and you're anxious to get to the point where you have a home, you have a family, you have, certain assets. And so you struggle through those years, and it feels like it's a long time. And then you get to a place now where, yeah, that's why some people say youth is wasted on the youth. Never. But it's up to us to be teaching that this is a period of great fertility.
Great growth. And I tell my children all the time, they're going on, and I said, you enjoy each moment. It's about the process that you're going through.
Yeah, the journey is
don't
important.
waste anything. Don't waste anything. Savor it, enjoy it, explore everything that you can do. Don't become locked in just one. Like I hear.
So why are you usually telling them that?
Because I'm telling
they're trying to get.
You're not gonna come back here again.
They're trying to get married early.
No. I'm saying no, man.
Don't get locked into one thing.
And we're just reflecting on what's happening. Process, 1 or 2 days for the week, I mentor young men, and I was saying to them, that you're right in your recommendation. I said, sir, what do you mean? I say, you're right in your recommendation. What you are doing now, right in your recommendation. And I was looking at their report. I was saying to them, what?
So what's your, when you go, do you just sit and spout out wise words to them, or
you go with a plan? Like
so the last time, what was the plan?
Doing a timetable. Because I'm saying to them.
So how many boys? You had one.
40.
So you had 40 boys in a room, and the mission was to teach them how to plan time management.
Right.
Okay.
I talked to them about a time budget.
Yeah.
As I said to them, the richest man in the world is this guy who owns.
Oh, Bezos, Amazon.
No.
It's Rich. Who's the new guy?
The French guy who LM.
Oh, who owns the luxury brands?
Yeah.
Chanel and billion.
$1 billion.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of the companies worth 512.
Yeah, you have to interrogate that change, because the technology guys were holding sway for a long time, and now consumer products, luxury products, have overtaken them, have regained, not overtaken. It used to be real estate, so these luxury brands own real estate, consumer goods. It's the Chanel, Gucci, Cartier, Hennessy, right? Some luxury brands for motor cars as well are in his portfolio, and of course, he's married to that really beautiful Mexican actress, Selma Hayek. You did not know? Yes, it's Selma Hayek's husband. So these brands and these items, jewelry, so a lot of things fall in it: jewelry, perfume, clothing, cars,
Right.
resorts, real estate, wine, all the fine goods, the things that make man feel like pride of life, the pride of life items, right? And those were the big earners for a long time, and then in came technology. Bill Gates.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to me, Bill Gates, and then Bill Gates' wealth, which was born out of the software, the software part of making the network run. That then got overtaken by the distribution system, which is and the telecoms part of it, Amazon. Then to see now a changing of the guards. You
speak to what's happening,
yeah.
you know.
It does. I have to think about that a little bit more.
I think your husband, you know, we were talking about something more and more with for that. Before that. The last day, they will become lovers of themselves.
So of course, you know, when you love yourself, and a lot of people use it and they think LGBTQ. Put that aside for a moment. Yeah, a lot of people see it as meaning, you know, sexual depravity and
that's one of the
yeah, it's one manifestation. But loving yourself is just feeding your senses and you're indulging your senses. So it goes back to the high-end experience, the clothing, the jewelry, the vacations,
right.
aha.
I remember being in Jamaica and I went to a function. It was good wine.
Yes.
And I was across from somebody brought their own. I'm going, really?
Because they're not,
it was good wine.
They're not drinking that cheap stuff. Yeah. But I was at there's a restaurant in my neighborhood. The wine, one bottle of wine costs more than the meals that you consume, that the chef and the staff and the fancy plateware and so on. One bottle of wine that can give you 5 glasses costs way more. I'm very accustomed to drinking water. And because God will turn water into wine.
Oh!
I just live in hope.
I remember when he turned water.
It was the best.
Wine. So he does that. But
so I'm always inviting him to just do that trick for me again.
Turn the water and become the best wine.
There's my water. He can do it.
But you know,
yeah, so that indulgence of self.
Right.
So it's interesting to see that money is what has, and you know, it is not even very mysterious, because after 2 years of lockdown, after 2 years of thinking I may never have this again or that again.
Might as well.
Hey man, when you come out,
Might as well.
you love yourself a little bit
Might
more.
as well. It's living for the now.
It's living for the now.
The accountability.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my son just brought back into focus. Yeah.
And
accountability. I'm sharing with him.
It's beautiful too that speak across all age groups, because
I think that you
we were on it and you had the opportunity to
share with him.
share with him.
You know, with the guy who planted and he got his thing that's in Luke 12 and he came back in. Whoa, I'm gonna live it up.
Yeah, I was about to tell you what's gonna happen with JPS Cares, but we'll do that when we come back after our break. It's now 7 a.m. Let's take our break.
You're simply the best. You're simply the best. Better than all the rest. Better than anyone. Anyone I've ever met. You're simply the best.
Bess FM-100 on your dial. Keep listening.
The Jamaica Anti-Doping Commission, in association with the Jamaica Information Service, now presents JADCO and You.
The 2023 JADCO Symposium can be summed up in 5 words, one for the history books. Stay tuned to hear more. The 9th annual JADCO Symposium was held on January 26 and marked the first time a president of the World Anti-Doping Agency, WADA, attended a JADCO Symposium in person.
We've been working closely with JADCO for many years. It's crucial for us that you play a leadership role in this region. You make a significant contribution to the anti-doping landscape. All athletes and athlete support personnel who are serious about anti-doping and have a desire to compete clean can benefit hugely from ADO. Please use it and encourage others to do the same.
President, World Anti-Doping Agency, Witold Banka. The purpose of the symposium is to educate athlete support personnel about the rules governing anti-doping in sport. Over 140 athletes and support personnel attended the 2023 JADCO Symposium, which was held under the theme Introduction to ADEL 24-Hour Access to Anti-Doping Education. Ministers of sport from several Caribbean countries such as Trinidad and Tobago, St. Lucia, the Cayman Islands, and Grenada were also present at the symposium. Additionally, there were representatives from the Caribbean Regional Anti-Doping Organization, RADO, as well as those from the National Anti-Doping Organizations, NADOs. Education Manager at WADA, Hung Yang Gracie Lee, delivered a virtual presentation on ADEL at the symposium. ADEL is WADA's anti-doping education and learning platform, which offers a range of interactive courses and resources for athletes, coaches, parents, medical professionals, anti-doping organization practitioners, researchers, among others. Chairman of JADCO, Alexander Williams, encouraged athletes and support personnel to make use of the ADEL platform, stressing that ignorance of the rules can no longer be an excuse.
The beauty of ADEL is that you can complete the courses at your own pace, in your own time. There is no pressure involved. ADEL enables you to complete courses which will increase your knowledge of anti-doping, and there are courses online for everyone.
Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport Olivia Grange lauded the work of the Commission and implored athletes and support personnel to remain committed to clean sport.
I want to encourage our athletes, support personnel and sport federations to continue to support the work of JADCO by attending the workshops, keeping abreast of new information, by following updates in a world of anti-doping, setting up your own ADEL account and learning all you can so that you can stay current and be empowered in the role you play as a sportsman or sportswoman.
Executive Director of JADCO, June Spence Jarrett, addressed the consequences of doping at the symposium.
It is imperative that every athlete understands that doping can be detrimental to their career and health. If they commit any anti-doping rule violation, they can be stripped of their accomplishments and their reputation destroyed.
The icing on the cake came from the satisfaction of the athlete support personnel present at the symposium. President of the Jamaica Table Tennis Association, Andrew Liu, said it was his first symposium and described it as a great experience.
It was well put together, well organized, and it's good to see that JADCO is positioning themselves to be a leader in the region.
I'm excited about the ADEL program. I'm going to do it myself, and since I teach drugs in sport at the University of Technology, my students will now have to do Adele.
Dr. Donna Marie Winter Adams, Head of School, Caribbean School of Sport Sciences at the University of Technology, Jamaica, and before her, President of the Jamaica Table Tennis Association, Andrew Liu. Coach at the Jamaica Rifle Association and Jamaica Badminton Association, Richard Wong, says he's also excited about using Adele. The Jamaica Anti-Doping Commission committed to the fight against doping in sport. To learn more about the fight against doping in sport, contact JADCO at 876-929-3500 or visit our office at Ballita Multiplex, 1 Ballita Avenue, Kingston 10. You may also log on to our website jadco.gov.jm and feel free to check out our Facebook, Instagram and Twitter pages and subscribe to our YouTube channel. This has been JADCO and you. Until next time, remember, you don't need dope to cope.
A production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
Nothing is Impossible for God is a deliverance ministry dedicated to the preaching of the gospel and the healing of the sick. Heard on Bess100 FM, Sundays at 12:30 to 1 with Reverend Neville Hutton Pastor. Your life will never be the same. Pray for the prayers and receive God's deliverance ministry. This program is sponsored by PJ Distributor at the corner of Main Street, Santa Cruz and Market Street. For prayer, call 828-4413. Luke 1:37, Jeremiah 32:17 said, nothing is impossible for God. God bless you, my friend.
Bess100 FM presents the Mature and Moving Up Show with Lascelles Butch Chen on Thursdays from 6 to 9 p.m. Welcome to this pioneering radio program on our continuing worth in our maturing years, compellingly defined to educate and liberate the younger generation. Tune in and welcome.
Greetings, brothers and sisters. I invite you to join us for the Church of Our Lord Jesus Christ radio program with Elder Kendrick Murray, where we stand firm that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. This broadcast is heard every Saturday from 12 noon to 1 p.m. and again on Sundays from 4 to 5 p.m. The church is located at 3550 Pleasant Valley Road here in Mobile, Alabama, in the United States. You may visit our website at sonofgodlives.org or our YouTube page at Minister K. Murray. Or you may call us at area code 251-300-8812. God bless you, and we look forward to you tuning in to the program.
Wagwan.
Guten Tag. Buongiorno.
We are
The Kingstones.
I think I love you best FM because you're better than the rest of them. It's so amazing how I love you best FM because you're better than the rest of them.
Good morning. Let me test. We're doing a voice test now.
Good morning.
Nice one. The bass is back.
Yes.
The boss is back.
Oh, but you know, we're gonna talk about it, but I want us just to close off this whole concept we've been talking about in terms of accountability my son just said it, you know. No, son, you gotta give an account for everything that you've got.
Mm-hmm.
And you have gotten all these giftings and talents, you maximize it. And I keep saying to them, hey, enjoy everything. I reflect on my own life and some of the experiences I've had, and you never thought that would amount to anything. But I learned early what you're doing at the point. Do it with all of your might. Do it to the best of your ability. Because God is working something in you and through you. And in the break, we're talking about that, weren't we?
Yes.
In you and through you, your Father is working it. Because remember, when He took the children of Israel through the wilderness, because I was proving what was in your heart. Because we always talk about the heart.
Yeah.
Because we have to give an account for our actions, and our actions come out of our heart, our mind, our will, our emotions. What we're thinking in our heart.
The motivations. We had a conversation about how your hands can pursue activities that are entirely self-serving.
Correct.
But they have the appearance of being good.
Continue to have that activity.
Yeah. The Machiavellian approach of, yes. What you want is the appearance of virtue. You don't actually want to be virtuous. You want to be selfish, and you want to pursue something entirely for your own benefit. But it looks good if you do it this way. And so yesterday, you know what crossed my mind, and I seldom make these kinds of comments, but I think this one warrants it. When persons who know better call you to shamelessly advocate self-promotion as an appropriate way for the church to show that it's doing something, you know that scripture says, give privately, give in secret, and take your reward in the open. You know that is the course.
What you do.
Yet someone would call and suggest that because the world is accusing you of laziness and inactivity, it's quite all right for you to parade your good works.
You know that it is always a temptation to
parade your good works.
No, but to do things
in answer to the world.
In answer to what the world is doing. But we come from a different kingdom, and it tells us how we are supposed to do the things. And when you go through the New Testament, go through the Old Testament, but especially New Testament, when Jesus came and said, you know, there's a new way of doing things, and then he would give you all of these parables, and he would show you, and in Matthew 6, which we started this, and he was talking to the Pharisees and the scribes, and he said, you are doing it to public for everybody. If they say you are right, and it said, you missed the point. You have missed the point.
And the reason he was laying down that teaching is because it had become the norm, it had grown popular for persons to do these things on the front page, so to speak. And he was teaching us that is not the way.
That's not my way.
Not my way.
Because you see, if you do it with the right motivation, with the right intention, in time it will come out, and it's going to come out in a way that surprises even you.
And God will be glorified, because isn't that what we're about?
Yeah. We live our lives to bring glory.
Yeah.
And honor.
So to me, anybody who wants to pursue a different policy, a different approach, is seeking self-promotion, not the glory of God. I put it out there. When something is so starkly wrong, those who try to promote it and to sell it as though it is something worthwhile, shame on you. So I'm saying that specifically about the caller who spoke yesterday concerning the self-promotion of whatever it is being done for the benefit of a citizen. The church don't need to advertise its good works.
The church doing our holy pastor.
And you know, God be praised for it. Those who benefit, it becomes their testimony, and they will speak of it to others, and the Spirit of God will convict the heart of men to move in a particular direction. It's one of the reasons why time is running so quickly. The Lord knows that if time were to continue, well, not continue, if time were to drag, some of his saints would not make it. Our bodies would just be worn out from the striving and the stress and so on. So he said, for the sake of the elect, I will shorten the days, he said, for the sake of my elect. Yes,
that's
true.
Where
And
it's
it's, yeah.
to rest and to walk
yeah.
in proper balance and alignment in relationship with who your Father is. And it's like Jesus. You must take the time and you must go rest and you must find out, hey, what's happening today? And him and the Father would have a
tete-a-tete.
real conversation.
You're gone French on me now, you know.
And gone and come back and do it. And he was never pushed, never.
And he was not apologetic about it.
Yeah.
He was not apologetic about it. He would withdraw and do his thing. Last night, my group were discussing it from Psalm 32, verse 7, you are my hiding place. So we were discussing the hiding place. These are days in which you need to have a hiding place. In the world of technology, we call it the panic room. You've seen in, yes, modern architecture, you must have a room in your house that is a safe place, completely insulated. In the well-appointed houses, it have steel door that is fireproof, burglar-proof. It have all of your survival supplies within it. So if someone invades your home, you put your family, you and your family go into the panic room, and they can do whatever they want to do in the rest of the house. And at an appointed time, of course, your security company will respond to your panic button. It's called the panic room. There's even a movie with the title Panic Room. Hunt it down. So the idea of a hiding place, it's scriptural. The psalmist spoke about it in different places. Psalm 32 verse 7 is the one we were using. Psalm 91 talks about the secret place of the Most High, which
the secret place and the panic place.
No, but this is you can dwell in the secret place of the Most High, in the heart of God.
Yeah.
That's where you dwell. You live there every day. In your hiding place, you don't live there every day. Your hiding place is where you retreat to, where you are not seen, you're concealed from the enemy. And we were discussing that.
Place. I don't have a panic place.
Yeah, but even David had a hiding place.
Yeah, but yes,
yet the desire was to dwell in the secret place of the Most High and to abide in the shadow of the Almighty, where everywhere you go, you are in the shade. You're covered you're kept cool. Yes, you found it. You are my hiding place. You, Lord, protect me from trouble. And you surround me with songs and shouts of deliverance. So we were talking about that. And sure enough, there was one very anointed person who said, you need to live in your hiding place. But technically, as we are discussing, it's not practical to live in your hiding place because it would become a very public place.
Really?
Of course, if your hiding place is where you live, and you have to interact with people in the world.
Interact from there,
do you interact so people don't need to see you and talk to you? But a hiding place is not.
No, you are hid. Listen.
It's two different concepts, Percy, and they're not inconsistent.
No, they're not inconsistent.
Right.
I said I am hid.
No, your life is hidden with Christ in God.
Right.
But that's because Christ is visible.
Christ is not visible.
When God looks at you, when the enemy tried to find you, he sees Christ.
Right.
But it don't mean that you and Christ have been fused into an identity.
Right.
Yes.
So,
but that's not your hiding place.
No, but I am saying I am hid with Christ in God.
All the time, because your life is not exposed.
So I live in that place, which is a place of communion, a place of yada, and and I operate from that place. So nothing can touch me.
But that's not your hiding place.
What is not hiding?
Where you live
Yeah.
is not your hiding place. Your hiding place can be within your house, which is why I spoke about the panic room. There is a place in your house that people will walk past it and don't even know that it's there. That's your hiding place.
Well, to my concept of it, I'm gonna know in terms of, yeah, but I'm
All right, we'll pursue it off air
Yeah,
because I was about to ask you a question, but it's best asked off air.
Yeah.
We always have to reconcile the things which you see. If you see two things, you must figure out how you reconcile them with each other so they are not inconsistent.
If you dwell in the shelter of the Most High, God, remain secure and rest in the shadow of God, whose power no enemy can.
Yeah.
And
So
therefore,
that don't need to be a hiding place because no enemy can withstand that power. It's visible, it's right there. You're
Right
walking
there
and they
today.
can't touch you.
Right.
But there is a time when you need a hiding place.
Physically, you're talking about physically moving from A to B.
No, because it's not physical. We're speaking spiritual. You might have put yourself in a place of danger because you have stepped out of your house then.
Stepped out of the shelter.
Yes.
So if you
Because if you're in the battlefield, let's use a literal example to understand hiding place.
So if
You are in the battlefield. The battlefield is a place where the enemy is walking in and out of it, up and down it. You're in the battlefield.
But even though I'm in
Even though you're in the battlefield,
yeah.
when a moment comes that is of extreme danger, you need a hiding place. Just think about it.
But and
It-
I hear what you're saying.
It is within, it is your hiding place is within the same architecture of where you dwell,
Right.
But the occasion of need
Yeah.
is different from your daily living and moving about. In your daily living and moving about, you exist in the secret place of the Most High God.
Right.
That's your daily, you're not in any great danger. You're going about doing your good works.
Right.
You're not in danger. This is how you move.
Right.
But when the moment of extreme danger comes, let's say the enemy infiltrate your house, or you have stepped onto a battlefield,
Right.
and there's a moment of extreme danger, you need a hiding place.
And where's
Sometimes, I'll show you afterwards.
Where is that?
I'll show you. It is always in God. And he says it. And David was declaring it. David was saying, you are my hiding place.
But
You protect me from trouble. When trouble comes, I know how to situate myself in a place where your protection covers me.
so in your daily walking and so on, what you are saying
Yes.
that you're not walking under the protection of God.
No, of course you're always out walking. You live in the secret place of the Most High.
Okay.
So when you're walking, you're in the shade, you're in the shadow of the Almighty.
But you are saying even with all of that happening, there's another place at some other time you need to hide.
No. It's the same place, as one place of safety that a believer has.
Right.
The Rock of Ages.
Right.
Yes. So it's one place. But there are different occasions of need.
Okay.
And the occasion of need can also be self-imposed. You very anointed, you're in, what's that country where they have the red light district? You're in Holland, you are there on a church conference.
Yes.
You decide to walk the streets of Holland.
Yes.
You miss a turn.
Yes.
You're in a red light district and a woman is calling to you from the window and you feel sure that you could convert her.
Yes.
And you enter into her boudoir.
Yes.
The person is right there, his smile getting bigger and bigger as he considers this challenge.
Yeah.
You enter into her boudoir,
Yeah.
and a situation emerges where you are now in moral danger.
Yeah.
You need your hiding place. In part, it's because you stepped into a room where you perhaps didn't have all of the weapons that you need to fight that particular battle.
So in that instance that you have
Yes.
outlined,
Yeah. You're still existing in the secret place of the Most High God.
Yeah.
But you have entered a battle that might be a little beyond your capabilities.
Yeah.
I actually borrowed that story from Sundar Singh's. It said, I've forgotten his full name, but he's one of the Sundars out of India. And he said he went into Holland. He was visiting the Netherlands and he wandered into a district, quite by a red light district, by accident. And when he saw the women, he says, aha, he can cast out some demons in here. And the Lord said, beg you please go back to your hotel. You're not prepared for that. That's not your skill. Because like you, very empathetic. And you might decide that this lady who is offering her body for sale in order to feed her family, that God can lead her to a different way, and Percy is the instrument through which she's going to be led. And when she begins to tell your story, your empathetic heart just opens up, compassion overwhelms you, and before you know it, you're hugging her and saying, they're there. And as the producer is saying, you now want to offer her a secret hiding place. That's what he said. I'll hide you in my secret hiding place. Percy said that's never going to happen. But the point I'm making is...
No, I'm not saying it.
But you see what I'm saying? With you, it's never going to happen with you. I'll say it for you.
No, because I have learned, which is this.
Yeah.
That refers to the very appearance of
aha,
evil.
there you go.
So, in fleeing the very appearance of evil...
You don't want to be seen trying to convert a prostitute. Somebody might think that you're doing something else.
That is what you operate in one or two.
Yeah.
No, but what my thing is, I'm understanding the point you made.
Right.
What I'm saying, the hiding place that you are speaking about, if you exist where the shelter, is it someplace there, or is it someplace separate and apart from there?
But the hiding place is both a place and a person.
Right.
Right. So it's the same.
Okay.
It is the occasion of need that differs.
Okay.
There are sometimes you want to hide from the enemy. You never want to hide from the enemy. You always want to fight him. Sometimes you want to hide from him, don't?
Don't want to hide from me first.
If you're resting, do you want to be drawn out into warfare?
You're sleeping?
Yeah.
But you protect yourself. Sorry, but it's just
no. What I'm saying is, you don't always want to confront the enemy in warfare. Case in point, do you remember when Christ said, "Eat my body and drink my blood"? And the people said, "What?" And they wanted to stone him, and they tried to seize him and throw him over a cliff. And the scripture tells you what happened with him. Yes. Did he stay and repel them with the mighty power of God, which could have left everyone? No, he didn't.
No, he didn't.
He didn't.
So if that is the hiding place you're talking about?
Yes, because Christ himself is the hiding place. So what I'm saying is that there are occasions in a believer's walk and journey, and I want the soldiers in the army to know that in your battle strategy, there is a time when you have to hide.
Oh.
In your battle strategy, not because you're fighting victory and you have the mighty power of God at your fingertips, that you're going to decimate the field. The ministry that you're in is one that believes in conversion and redemption. And if you kill everybody, there will be no one to convert and redeem.
No, it is.
And for self-protection,
Yeah, it is. But
there is a necessity to retreat.
yeah, because that is a part of it. And
Yeah.
even for somebody that I deal with, deliverance and so on, some of the time, because you are in relationship.
You know it's 7:31. And Percy have me flowing freely past the 7:30 break. Is it time for a break? Oh, all right. We'll come back. And then, you know what? We're going to talk business. Percy and Minett can talk hiding places.
A difference you can feel.
Bess FM, keep listening.
Hey
everybody. Apostle Prophetess Dr. Juliet Fagan here. I've got some good news for you. Many of you have asked and God has delivered. Guess what? Join me this and every Sunday. That's right. This and every Sunday evening, 7 p.m. until 8 p.m. Catch me right here on Bess100 FM. That's right. On Friend of a Wounded Heart, an extension of Vision Miracle Church of God. And so on behalf of Bishop Leroy, myself, and all the brethren of Vision Miracle Church of God, I'm looking forward to having you Sundays, 7 p.m. until 8 p.m. right here on Bess FM 100.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-Time Taxi Service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
From anywhere at all. You can call us at 926-3866.
We are something special on the road.
Hello. Pastor Howard Palmer here, coming to you from New York City this and every Saturday morning, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. That's right, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. this and every Saturday morning, right here on Bess100 FM. Don't you miss it.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-Time Taxi
presents the mature and moving up show with Lascelles Butch Chen on Thursdays from 6 to 9 p.m. Welcome to this pioneering radio program on our continuing worth in our maturing years, compellingly defined to educate and liberate the younger generation. Tune in and welcome.
Greetings, brothers and sisters. I invite you to join us for the Church of Our Lord Jesus Christ radio program with Elder Kendrick Murray, where we stand firm that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. This broadcast is heard every Saturday from 12 noon to 1 p.m. and again on Sundays from 4 to 5 p.m. The church is located at 3550 Pleasant Valley Road here in Mobile, Alabama in the United States. You may visit our website at sonofgodlives.org or our YouTube page at Minister K. Murray. Or you may call us at area code 251-300-8812. God bless you, and we look forward to you tuning in to the program.
Goodness mercy, it's me again, Lord, your restorer, your game changer. Join me every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Bess FM 100. It's Apostle Clive Campbell, a.k.a. the Khaki Suit Man, coming to you from 8 to 12 Orange Street, also Richmond District, Mandeville. Embrace the change.
Live, camera, volume. Live it up Fridays on Bess100 FM. 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. with I, Ibi Lion, each and every Friday, giving you the better vibes, heard everywhere.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minett and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Bess100.
Wagwan.
Guten Tag. Buongiorno.
We are
The Kingstones.
I think I love you, Bess FM, because you're better than the rest of them. It's so amazing how I love you, Bess FM, because you're better than the rest of them.
Welcome back. It's interesting that Percival and I are having a deep discussion on the hiding place. I brought it up because as we are preparing to go into, there's so many things that we want to do as a nation. We're inviting citizens to participate in deep discussions on nationhood, constitutional reform, how do we address crime and violence, how do we address and redeem our children, how do we ensure that we are making the right provisions for the vulnerable in our society. We see even on our local TV stations are carrying stories about the extreme poverty in some parts of the country, beautiful parts of our island that are known for high-end, luxurious resorts in some parts of the country, beautiful parts of our island that are known for high-end, luxurious resorts and vacation experiences. Many of the rich, famous, and wealthy people are coming into our country to enjoy those very parts of the nation, of our country. Yet you have pockets of poverty so extreme that even the average Jamaican is taken aback. Can't fathom how this is happening. So those who are serving in the field, you're on mission, you understand that the heart of God is for us to show love and to share the wealth of his creation with our brothers and sisters. So you're out there trying to bind up the wounds and, give love and care. You have to create a strategy and be aware of what resources are available to you spiritually to safeguard you in this walk. I have to discuss with you. One of our listeners has sent me a suggestion. I did forward it to you. A place where we can host a first discussion on some of these things. Yes, and it always goes beyond just constitutional reform, because it's the cry for justice and the cry for redemption and the need for repentance that keeps you and me talking about these things. So we're calling you out, but at the same time, we don't want you to go and die like chickens. Get picked up by the hawk. They say chicken Mary. They're near. The hawk is always near. So we don't want you to be out there running around doing your good deeds and falling to the ground at the sound of every noise. Therefore, a part of what we do is to prepare you and to identify the resources, the weaponry. We all know about the armor of God. But beyond the armor, which is what you should be belting on, putting on, setting out in every morning, you should be fortifying yourself in that way. But there are times when you need to retreat. There are times when you need to hide from the enemy. We'll make it clear now that the hiding place that we were discussing is the place to which you retreat, where you are invisible to the enemy. And I was saying to Percy that the hiding place is both a place and it's a person. We're in agreement on that?
Yeah.
A place and a person. And we were pulling from different parts of, Bible lore. David on the run from Saul, hid in a cave. And in that same cave, he was able to come to a confrontation with himself, that he, however threatened he might feel by Saul's advances against him, he could not hurt King Saul, who was an anointed man by God. It had to be God himself who dealt with Saul. That is the value of the hiding place. The hiding place is one where you don't have to fight. You're covered and protected from trouble by a divine presence. So last night I had a group discussing how to get to the hiding place. And I was just earlier saying to Percival, and if you don't have a place, you should have a place in your house which is generally representative of a safe spot. We had a fire at our home some years ago, and when we were rebuilding, the contractor said to us, it is now a requirement in the building code that there is a place in your house with a roof that cannot be, that is waterproof. So in our house, we ended up constructing a room that has a slab roof,
Serious?
Yeah. Because we are in a hurricane belt and heavy rains, there must be somewhere in your house that is dry.
Oh.
I did not know. This is a contractor who had some of international experience as well. But he said to me, yes, the code. And it makes sense. Doesn't it make sense, Percival?
Think about
You think about it. You're in a place where rain can fall for 3 solid weeks, if it feel a mind. And if they see the clouds badly, as some are suggesting the last rainfall was not a gift from God. It was, well, it's a gift from God, but through man, seeding the clouds. So...
Is that another thing? Some people are saying about
yeah, that we saw.
That or something else. But anyway,
yeah.
The fact is, the result is that we had rain.
We got some rain. And yeah, and I only make mention of it to say that even in your architecture, in how you build your physical houses, there is a need to have a place where if there is a great disaster of a certain type, you can take the wife and children and the important, papers and your dog and hunker down there until help arrives. That's what I was saying. So you have physical spaces that are specially prepared to be the hiding place. The panic room where you lock down the steel door and you have food in there for 3 weeks, so you know you can exist until.
So like in the US where people have been a lot of bunkers.
Yes, man. Yeah, that's in, yeah.
Thinking about nuclear war.
Yeah. But if you're in an urban situation, it's a panic room.
The bunker them build.
No, in your bunker is your underground place of safety. Oh. But in your own home, you can create a space in your home that is a panic room. And when it is done properly, when you look at the house, you can't tell where the room is. It's usually hidden like between walls.
Okay.
So it has a secret door. You might have to move away a bookshelf or a bookcase. Okay. So when someone walks in, they don't see a door that they can start, digging out. Right. So we're talking about that kind of place of safety for believers. Of course, you know that it's in God. But how to get there and what you do while you're there were things that occupy that time for another. We'll discuss it another time. But I did want to share what we're going to be doing with our guest this morning. So we get on business. We do our program with JPS on Thursdays. And, we had a wonderful guest last week. We had 2 men who shared with us what they did in their conference, linesmen.
The vouchers are still
the vouchers are still on the table. We'll get rid of them somehow. So our guest who will be joining us at 8:30 is none other than Audrey Williams. She's the manager of media and PR, and she will be sharing on JPS's participation in this year's Expo Jamaica. Okay. JPS is the official energy partner. So if you didn't know it, Expo Jamaica is happening. It starts tomorrow, well, rather today, because it starts today, Thursday. Mm-hmm. And it runs through the weekend right up to the 30th. It's at the National Arena and the National Indoor Sports Center.
Hosted by JMEA.
Mm-hmm. This is the Manufacturers and Exports
Association. They merged them years ago.
Yeah.
But that makes sense. A lot of sense. And just on one point, we're saying because our trade deficit is so wide at $2 billion, we have to find a way.
And not in a good way. We're spending more on imports than we are earning from exports.
So it's become so very important that it's not export, it's not manufacture export more.
But when you look at the trade deficit, sure, earning foreign exchange is it is an important objective, because if only to pay our energy bill. There are some things which we must import because we don't produce or generate it here. And big items for us, oil, obviously. And though it's not a it's not breaking the bank in our books, but we also don't manufacture medicines and pharmaceuticals largely. The important ones, isn't that something? And that's something we could do here. Make medicine. Yeah, but not the major ones, and not on a significant. So there are some areas that we should increase the level of participation in those. Cannabis. Yes.
I was just thinking.
We should, of course.
The fact that we need to utilize a lot of our natural things to make medicine. So that market is increased in
Listen to me.
A lot of people,
and the value in it is just significant. Yeah. So there is the fact that we need to make more things here that we import a lot of. But food.
Stuff that we can do.
Food is big on the list.
Organic farm.
Yeah. So this year's theme for the expo is really interesting. Connecting the world to Jamaica, not Jamaica to the world. That's the theme this year. Connecting the world to Jamaica. Drawing people here. Creating bridges to bring people here. Yeah, there's a lot that we can do. And so, the JPS as the energy partner under that initiative, and with a theme like that, I'm looking forward to the conversation that we're going to have with Miss Audrey Williams. She'll be joining us at 8:30. Are you going to the expo, Percy? I used to go, Yeah. But we've gone a couple of years, and it's interesting to sort of see how, mostly when I go, what I learn who are the local providers of this and that. You go and there are some things that you might be more tempted to research it online and see if you can import it. And then you discover that someone in Jamaica is doing it. But mostly the disappointment from me, and the JMEA needs to address these issues. Or Jamaican entrepreneurs, when they import things, they seem to forget that we can go online and see the price of it.
No, because that has changed.
They mark up things so exorbitantly.
Yeah. Like for $1 instead of $10.
Yes. It just makes no sense that an individual can import an item cheaper than what a company will import masses of it. It defies every basic principle of economics.
Logic. But
so that's one of the things. When I go, I see who's doing what.
Right.
But it don't help me any, because when I hear their price, the only thing they do for me is I can get it right now. When I procure it for myself, I have to wait. But if it's an issue that you can wait, it always makes more sense to wait. And I find that Jamaican businessmen are stubborn in that way. They would rather keep the goods on the shelf for 100 years, waiting on the one man who will pay their price, than put it at a reasonable price that is not gouging you.
That is why Chinese great
that's why they will, yes. Yeah.
Because you and there's something the big change in terms of our psyche, our mindset. When you import something, as you know, we're an import dependent economy. In order to manufacture, we import a lot of stuff, the value added onto it, and then sell it. Whereas some people just go straight somewhere else. You are able to import the same thing and it comes in cheaper than how the Jamaican does it. One of the things has been the cost of energy, and JPS is coming, because for years, having worked in manufacturing in my early years, that was a major client. How do we bring down the cost of electricity? And to them, a lot of people, that is why we couldn't compete.
Yes.
Exporting stuff to other countries. So that's gone down.
But Percival, we now know. Last year when you and I were talking about these matters on air, we had not yet found out from JPS that the cost of energy on their side is quite reasonably where it ought to be. What makes energy prohibitively expensive in Jamaica is the taxation policy and the approach that the government has taken to tax. You forget that almost 40% of your energy bill is taxes. If you look at if JPS were left to just bill us for energy and make their return on their money, and that's it, we'd be okay.
Yeah, because
they add GCT, then they do their hedging for energy, and then they restrict JPS in their choice of technologies, so we don't get the efficiencies that could come from a different approach. It's the government is responsible for the high cost of energy. It's not JPS.
But so would you're saying that
you forget the revelation right at this table?
I remember.
Yeah.
Alan was explaining how to go about it and even the switches.
Yeah.
Now we drive that.
Yeah. And the procurement process that they have to go through. They can't even buy equipment without Big Brother having a hand in the bucket.
So the question is which?
When we change the government and the policies, and I'm not talking about JLP, PNP, a lot of people like to descend into that quagmire. When we realign how decision making is done, how governance is achieved, good governance, we will fix those problems. The reason we are paying such high rates, let me say it again, the reason we pay such high rates for energy, for electricity, and even the reason we are in such chaos with transportation, because they feed off the same thing too, is the governance structure and the impositions of government on how things are charged, priced. The JPS is just a huge tax collecting machinery.
That's even with the hedge fund. You remember when the electricity, gas started, oil started going all over the place, and they brought in the hedge fund. And they did one, then they did the second one,
and they
even
keep it.
Gold and point if you do this, you're taking $8 or $10 billion. But if that you take that, give up that taxation, it makes that so much easier in terms of how inflation is impacting people, because oil, electricity is a major component
of everything.
In everything. So if we are really serious about what we want to do in terms of easing the burden on everybody, we can do that. And so some people say, but we all get the tax from. Fix it somewhere else. And you'll get greater growth in the economy.
Yes.
You can collect greater taxes that people don't be spending more.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously, GCT is here to stay. You pay tax on consumption, the government will always be flush with cash because people don't stop consuming.
It's an indirect way of taxing everybody.
You tax everything. But we are currently having it both ways, always. As a result, the body is dying. They think they
don't see that they're killing everybody?
It's sad to say, but I suspect most time it's just a lack of care. They don't care that they're killing everybody, because burying the people that they kill will be another man's job. And they themselves will die. So they know they'll never be accountable to the actual persons who they hurt. And so it has been, you as a minister of government wreak havoc on the industry. You resign or you're removed in disgrace. Is somebody else gonna have to clean up your mess? You never have to face the person whom you have caused such great problems, because somebody else sits in there. That's why I have experienced it. I've experienced this. That's why I can use that as a specific example. And that's why when you and I are speaking about accountability and saying, no, it's not the accountability to man who is present in the moment with you. It is to the one who gave you life and the authority to do certain things. So you are always accountable that way. He's always looking, always watching you, knows your heart, sees that you're plotting to move over there so you can collect this or that, and that you have no genuine concern for the people. Case in point, they're finally there. From the time we were looking at the budget and we were saying it's not people-centric, it does not speak to the overall improvement of people. And that a welfare, when I think someone was saying they were going to put, even when the opposition government I think they were saying something about putting more money into welfare plans. I was saying we don't need more money into welfare plans that just essentially give a man a fish. You need to teach, you need to increase capacity and improve a person's ability to make a living. That's what you want to do. That way, if you give him a welfare check once, which is to cover either him starting a business or him retraining himself, you don't have to keep giving him welfare checks for the rest of the year, because instead he now becomes a contributor because he has activities which can generate something for the social good. All right. So,
who is Strong?
Carl Samuda is the economist. Dennis Strong. As you took on your economist hat, I thought.
Which Dennis Strong? You mean from?
Seymour man, you know him. That one. I see. That same one. Anyway, what we're saying is obvious. They call him financial analyst in this.
That's what he is.
Carl Samuda has announced a $200 million welfare program. And Dennis Strong is credited here making the same basic point. When you do welfare programs of that nature, you are just giving a man a fish. Could you please teach him to fish? That's an undeniable point. It requires no genius. It will fill a gap, he says, but what we really need to do is to look at long-term sustainable measures that will pull people out of poverty.
So when we come back after the break,
yes,
we will talk about something that we believe will go a long way, fundamentally, as Mr. Manley used to say, fundamentally shift.
Yeah. Remember that the elimination of poverty is a sustainable development goal. So the government ought to be putting forward concrete proposals for that. But when we return.
You're simply the best. Better than all the rest. Better than anyone. Anyone I've ever met. You're simply the best.
Bess FM-100 on your dial. Keep listening.
Hello, I'm Moira Alderson with the BBC News. South Sudan says it's leading efforts to mediate an extension of the current ceasefire in Sudan that's due to expire tonight. South Sudan's Foreign Minister Deng Dor Deng told the BBC a 72-hour extension would enable more evacuations and the creation of a humanitarian corridor between the capital and other cities. Our Africa correspondent Catherine Bayorahanga reports.
The current ceasefire in Sudan has been seriously tested by ongoing fighting near the capital and other parts of the country. The head of Sudan's army, General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, has initially agreed to extending the ceasefire to Sunday and to sending a representative to neighbouring South Sudan for talks. But his rival, General Hamdan Dagalo, has not yet responded. Sudan's neighbours who are trying to end the conflict hope any agreements now will be the building blocks for face-to-face talks that could end the conflict.
Despite talks of a possible extension to the ceasefire, our diplomatic correspondent Paul Adams says many people in Sudan's capital remain fearful.
There's a real sense in Khartoum itself that the city may be about to witness something worse. We were in touch earlier with a former Sudanese government official and women's rights activist She was literally jumping into her car, saying that she was fearing the worst and she was heading out. People who had some hopes until even quite recently that the democratic transition might move forward are simply abandoning all hope of an improvement in the situation.
For a second day running, President Erdogan of Turkey has cancelled his entire election campaign schedule due to health issues. It comes just 3 weeks before the country goes to the polls in crucial parliamentary and presidential elections. Ola Guerin reports.
President Erdogan is in the fight of his life at the polls, but he's now out of sight. The 69-year-old was last seen in public on Tuesday night when he became ill during a live TV broadcast, which had to be halted. When it resumed, he appeared looking pale, saying he had been working hard and had picked up a stomach bug. Turkish officials say claims on social media that he suffered a heart attack are false. His main rival for the presidency, Kemal Kılıçdaroğlu, was one of the first politicians to wish him a speedy recovery.
China has accused the United States of provoking confrontation by promising to strengthen its nuclear weapons commitments to South Korea. President Biden told his counterpart, Yoon Suk-yeol, that there would be an overwhelming response if North Korea launched a nuclear attack on the South. American submarines armed with nuclear weapons will in future dock in South Korea. A Chinese Foreign Ministry spokeswoman said the promise risked stirring up tension even further on the Korean peninsula. BBC News. Railway officials in Pakistan say at least 7 people, including 4 children, have died after a fire broke out on a train in the southeastern province of Sindh. The incident is thought to have happened as the express train travelled from Karachi to Lahore. An investigation is underway with the cause of the blaze not yet clear. Train accidents are not uncommon in Pakistan. NATO says it's delivered almost all the combat vehicles promised to Ukraine ahead of its expected spring offensive against Russian forces. The NATO Secretary-General, Jens Stoltenberg, said that meant more than 1,500 armoured vehicles and 230 tanks, as well as vast amounts of ammunition. Speaking at a news conference in Brussels, he said the assistance would help Ukraine to regain territory occupied by Russian forces.
More than 98% of the combat vehicles promised to Ukraine have already been delivered. In total, we have trained and equipped more than 9 new Ukrainian armored brigades. This will put Ukraine in a strong position to continue to retake occupied territory.
The leader of the main pro-Russian party in Moldova has been stripped of his parliamentary seat. Ilan Shura fled to Israel after being convicted of being involved in the theft of $1 billion from 3 Moldovan banks. The Moldovan authorities have repeatedly accused Russia of trying to destabilise the country and blame Moscow for helping organise recent anti-government protests. 11 female MPs in Uganda have been arrested while taking part in a protest march against police brutality. They were trying to deliver a petition at the Internal Affairs Ministry when they were bundled onto police trucks and taken to the main police station in the capital, Kampala. The lawmakers say officers have been continually preventing them from holding rallies and meetings in their constituencies. BBC News.
A difference you can hear. A difference you can feel.
Bess FM, keep listening.
Hey everybody, Apostle, Prophetess, Dr. Juliet Fagan here. I've got some good news for you. Many of you have asked and God has delivered. Guess what? Join me this and every Sunday. That's right, this and every Sunday evening, 7 p.m. until 8 p.m. Catch me right here on Bess100 FM. That's right, on Friend of a Wounded Heart, an extension of Vision Miracle Church of God. And so on behalf of Bishop Leroy, myself, and all the brethren of Vision Miracle Church of God, I'm looking forward to having you Sundays, 7 p.m. until 8 p.m. right here on Bess FM 100.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-Time Taxi Service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
From anywhere at all. You can call us on 926-3866.
We are something special on the road.
Hello, hello, hello. Pastor Howard Palmer here, coming to you from New York City this and every Saturday morning, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. That's right, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. this and every Saturday morning, right here on Bess100.
To the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious.
Bess100 FM presents the Mature and Moving Up Show with Lascelles Butch Chen on Thursdays from 6 to 9 p.m. Welcome to this pioneering radio program on our continuing worth in our maturing years, compellingly defined to educate and liberate the younger generation. Tune in and welcome.
Greetings, brothers and sisters. I invite you to join us for the Church of Our Lord Jesus Christ radio program with Elder Kendrick Murray, where we stand firm that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. This broadcast is heard every Saturday from 12 noon to 1 p.m. and again on Sundays from 4 to 5 p.m. The church is located at 3550 Pleasant Valley Road here in Mobile, Alabama in the United States. You may visit our website at sonofgodlives.org or our YouTube page at Minister K. Murray. Or you may call us at area code 251-300-8812. God bless you, and we look forward to you tuning in to the program.
Vision Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Vision Printers, your best choice in printing.
Goodness mercy, it's me again, Lord, your restorer, your game changer. Join me every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. and Bess FM-100. It's Apostle Clive Campbell, aka the Khaki Suit Man, coming to you from 8 to 12 Orange Street, also Richmond District, Mandeville. Embrace the change.
Live, camera, volume. Live It Up Fridays on Bess100 FM. 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. with I, Ibi Lion, each and every Friday. Giving you the better vibes, heard everywhere.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minett and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Bess100.
Wagwan.
Guten Tag. Buongiorno.
We are
The Kingstones.
I think I love you, Bess FM, because you're better than the rest of them. It's so amazing how I love you, Bess FM, because you're better than the rest of them.
And we're back. Before we took the break, we were making light mention of the government's announcement that $200 million, which is not a lot of money, let me tell you, $200 million, isn't that less than $2 million US dollars? How much money they stole from SSL? Just for an example. Way more than that. $200 million to address the needs of the poor in Jamaica is listen, man, there are people who live in homes that worth more than 200 million Jamaican dollars. So I can't believe, of course, Easily, Percy. Easily.
It's raining mango. Over my garden life have some
apartments. There you go. All right, and those are apartments. You don't have your own private swimming pool or your gardens that you can tour in the morning. And no. Most homes in the Kingston 6 area, with the view of the city and so on, sitting on an acre or more, are worth more than $2 million US. You just go on some of those websites where the houses are being sold, and everything is 3.6, 1.5, 2 point this. Yeah, easily worth more than that. So a $200 million welfare plan is not a big plan. Let me put that in perspective. When you are thinking of a national plan. So we shouldn't even bother talk about it. Yeah, anyway, that is the plan, $200 million, which financial analyst Dennis Chung, who is quite partial to the JLP government or to the JLP party, however, I think. I mean, he's one of their voices.
Yeah.
Even he is saying that's just a gap filler. And making mention of the fact that it is like giving a man a fish instead of teaching him to fish. I am reminding our listeners that the move to alleviate poverty is one of the sustainable development goals for the 2030 timeline, which we have all agreed that's not going to be met. But this move to eradicate poverty is a global initiative. We're not doing very well with it, I would say. Globally, we're not doing well with it. Between the man-made wars and disasters and so on.
Well, like I said, the man-made wars and disasters. I think them go to them and say, we're going to do this war.
Yeah.
We're going to get rich. That's more money.
More money will, yes.
In terms of the war.
Yeah, man.
The U.S. war. Who don't believe in war?
The warmongers.
Warmongers, but they have a war establishment.
Country. Yes.
They push war.
That is their revenue stream.
They push war.
So just like how the oil producing companies, OPEC, will look at their balance sheet from time to time and say, gotta cut back, throttle back production, let the price rise.
So we can get more money.
Yeah. And you notice that they make that decision, and while we are all talking about antitrust, predatory pricing and discriminatory production policies, nobody says OPEC should not take those kind of decisions, that the oil that comes up out of the sand or wherever is the wealth of the nations and everybody should have access to it, and the fact that you happen to be sitting at the gate don't mean that you own it. No. They make their decision, they shamelessly announce it, and the rest of us just go into a panic trying to figure out, well, how are we going to get by?
They do what they do.
They do what they do, and with nobody criticize them for it.
The long term in terms of fixing the problem with another thing easily do, and we've been talking about it, but I don't think we understand. But this land, land, allocation of land to the landless, allocation of land, which is crown land. So people came out and they had to be grazing, I call it, on the hillside.
Yes.
And it's the kind of farming that they did, subsistence farming. Do
you know, even something like when people are deported, there should be land grants that the government have for people who, descendants of Jamaicans who went abroad to fuel the economy of other colonial or first world countries, and their offspring get deported. We should have little parcels that when you come, you get your passport and a plot of land and something. Listen, man, do you remember the first couple of shows that I did? I brought one of Dr. Zeus' book, If I Ran the Zoo.
Yeah.
I need to bring back out Dr. Zeus. He got very unpopular after some race hating commentary was associated with one of his books. But if I ran the zoo, oh my goodness, wokeism should shut down some of Dr. Zoo's books. But he has one, If I Ran the Zoo, which was a little boy, with the innocence of a child going to a zoo and seeing that, but this zoo could look better.
Yes, if I ran the zoo.
If I ran the zoo.
So you're putting yourself like a little boy?
Yes, I'm using my lack of political experience and my innocence. No.
You're not going to be a bull in a China
No,
shop.
I'd put together a really nice, anyway. This 200 million allocation, when broken down, means that each MP will be able to submit projects totaling about $3.2 million to address the needs of the dispossessed. $3.2 million per constituency. What will that do to alleviate poverty?
See, I remember
Lord of mercy.
Damon Crawford made a very important point. When you guys are for
It's just giving
holiday, and he pointed out that, we are in this phase to pay down the debt. But it is a major thing in Mr. Clark's act. But he said, but if we're collecting it, if we're really looking long term in terms of improving the flourishing of Jamaicans and helping people, instead of using that money, you should use some of that money to do long term things that can help the general well-being of the country.
Yeah.
And I'm in agreement with
Of course, that principle is
that's what
sound.
a lot of countries have done.
That principle
Coming
is
out
sound.
of COVID, they're saying, oh, wait,
Yeah.
need to do some more spending. And the social spend that long term will help us. Like this was doing it. So, one of the things about emancipation, art was set up to do that by Mr. Siaga. They've long moved away from that because they're not addressing the people at risk coming out of schools. And again, you have to deal with the fundamental problem, which is what is wrong in education.
Yeah.
If you're going to fix the problem, you have an early childhood, because if you do that well, the primary, then it's easier for high school. Still having a what they call it now, production line that you're graduating people from secondary school, and a significant amount of them don't have real skills that can move them to go do something, whether it is entrepreneurial or to go do some training. So that's what we have to do long term.
Yeah.
Why are you dealing with? Why are you reading? Why are you thinking about film and stuff? So that's not giving you a spirit of fear.
There's a story in the paper. Do you remember about 2 months ago, a young mother, she was a nurse, was stabbed to death by her common law spouse in the presence of her 5-year-old child. And the man has been charged with murder. He is before the courts. And, I think a bail application is underway. There is a picture of family members and so on.
The young man.
Outside, no. For the young woman, there's a cry for justice for her. And I'm looking at it. That's the story that has the headline Fear. Her mom, she's survived by her mother. And her mother is saying that she's fearful. She lives in, I'm in fear, is the headline. The mom saying she keeps reliving her daughter's death. She wasn't there, but she keep the trauma. She keep imagining it, and she's feeling. But I'm trying to understand why there are persons outside the courtroom saying justice for Sade. I'm not denying that they have a right to be there. But what do they see in this case and the treatment of the case as an affront to the need for justice? Because the man has been charged, he is before the court. The case, it was called up in court yesterday, but they came out. Friends and family and friends of slain surgical nurse assistant Sade Brown protest outside Manchester Parish Court on Wednesday. on Wednesday morning. What are they protesting? I mean, I ask it rhetorically because I know that every opportunity you get now to make a protest because of the general injustice and dissatisfaction, people are seizing it. There's no doubt that justice is being served in this case. The man is before the court. It's not like with the other case with the young influencer where the police were slow in arresting and questioning and so on, and so people were out there. But
it speaks to a
it
deeper
just
issue.
speaks to
Deeper
that's
issue
what
of
is
trust. That's what when you saying they're doing everything.
Yes, they're doing what should be done.
Yeah.
I read it. I said, what is it that the people think is not being done?
So why they put that on the front page?
It's on the front page.
And then on the front page.
When you read the story, the fear that the woman is feeling, the mom, she needs, so which made me wonder, what is this victim unit that was in the Ministry of Justice? What is it doing
Have
in
they
this?
reached out to her? Has she reached out to them? Because
Don't
they
know.
normally
Don't know.
So
And the person who covered the story did not, interrogate her on those issues as to what support. Yeah, he's not 5, he's 11 years old. The lady was stabbed 25 times with multiple knives. Yeah.
That is rage.
That is rage.
That is absolute rage.
Yeah.
Just do, my God, why would you do that? Hello, I want to say this to you.
Mm-hmm.
You know Tucker Carlson, right?
Yes. I do my best not to know anything about Fox News, but it's unavoidable.
No, but Tucker Carlson.
Yeah. Yeah. Did it remind you of a certain correspondence we saw in Bess' office? In our own office? Yes, because there's talk of some nasty correspondence. Tell me why you mentioned Tucker Carlson, because
he was just sharing
he was
shared
sharing
something before for heritage.
First, tell me, are you one of the? You're into Fox News Network? You watch them, and I know
watch
that.
Everything. I watch everything.
No, man, but I mean, are you one of the supporters who, when they were covering all the matters pertaining to Mr. Trump, you felt they were doing a good job and addressing things from a place of truth and righteousness?
I watch everything. I just because.
All right, so it's a yes then.
No, it's not a yes.
They must answer me like how me answer the lady in court.
You answer your own question.
And so I say it's a yes.
You answer your question. No, but he said something, and I'm saying, if he, who is irreverent in terms of his
yes,
can come to
is it what he said about the debates?
No, not debate.
That they're ridiculous?
Besides that,
oh,
he was
okay,
saying,
I saw that.
There is a force that it's not rational in terms of what you see happening.
He should know.
Him say no, it was saying there's something spiritual. He was alluding to the impact of the spiritual.
Wow,
so
and you can't find
down,
it.
Something rational. And he said, no, man. No, something is off here. It's not making any sense at all in terms of what is seen being manifest. Something wrong. Coming out of the computer. He was saying no. He was talking about the trans debate. He was talking about the trans debate and what is happening. I was talking about the fact that children who are 8 years old are being forced without their parents' permission to tweet. And I said, no, something wrong with. Once upon a time, we could have debate and you put your fact on and we do that. And they said, no. Beyond that, he said, it turned a religion, no.
I must confess that I try not to spend too much time consuming what some of the extreme thinkers say. I'm generally aware of the positions, and I understand the role that they play in the unfolding of events, especially end time events. So I just assume that they're all saying it and they all believe it, and that my job is to focus on what is righteous and what is coming from the source that's not contaminated. So I'm sorry I cannot be of assistance. I would have hunted down for you.
I tried to find it.
I did.
He said, no, I see something happen here. When we could sit down and have a debate with the issues and ask the questions and say, okay, if this is so, can we go there? But him said, no, there.
People are outright now just unreasonable and pressing in a way that makes no sense. But he has been doing that. He's been prey to the same thing. It's good that when he sees it operating, he recognizes what it is, and then you can only hope that he'll have the revelation that he's been subject to the same pressure. He's a part of the reason why Fox News Network is paying out that heavy chunk of money to Dominion, because they embraced and deliberately pursued the line of argument that there had been some thievery through the use of equipment in the elections, in the election results. And it would seem from other correspondence which came up that they knew it wasn't true. So there is, even in our jurisdiction, there is a principle of law that operates to give you aggravated damages, increased sums of money against news networks and newspaper publications when they print something knowing it's not true, but understanding that the more scandalous a headline it is, the more papers will sell and the more money they will make.
So we have that in Jamaica.
We have it in Jamaica. You get aggravated punitive damages tacked on to what you would normally receive, because it is not permissible that people profit from lying, deliberate misinformation or misleading people, because you know that they will love it so much they'll come back for more. Well, that's a righteous principle. You can't profit from your wrongdoing. And the law seeks to find all the ways that it can pull it out from you. So if you sold a lot of newspapers, if you normally sell 10 copies of the paper, but when you put Percy on it in a dress, you sold 100. You see, already we would have sold a copy. Somebody looked. All right, it's time for the break. Please remember, when we return, we're going to be spending time with our friends from JPS. Expo starts today, and I guess somebody has carved out a half an hour to spend some time and to tell us how JPS is being a partner under the theme of connecting the world to Jamaica.
Vejan Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Vejan Printers, your best choice in printing.
Is this the confusion you feel when trying to work your way through medical systems in Jamaica? Try a dose of Ask Dr. Mary every Thursday at 5 to 6 p.m. Let Dr. Mary help you understand your medical problems and bring you to a calmer place.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-3825-8 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
Half a tree, 100, half a tree. Bossy, how we do I take taxi style?
Jano, I want to tell you, say, 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and me check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
Yeah, hear me? You waste all that time on shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose the problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. You hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me, send you.
Wow, you big star. Yeah, man, respect my boss.
I try and call you, cause trust me.
Waiters, Auto Spares and Repairs, good afternoon.
Ah, what a relief.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-time taxi service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
From anywhere at all. You can call us on 926-3866.
We are something special on the road.
Bess100 FM presents the Mature and Moving Up Show with Lascelles Butch Chen on Thursdays from 6 to 9 p.m. Welcome to this pioneering radio program on our continuing worth in our maturing years, compellingly defined to educate and liberate the younger generation. Tune in and welcome.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minett and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Bess100.
Wagwan.
Guten Tag. Buongiorno.
We are
The Kingstones.
I think I love you best of them because you're better than the rest of them. It's so amazing how I love you best of them because you're better than the rest of them.
It's not usual that we start with laughter. Explain yourself.
No, I'm just on the
You're
chat.
reading the chat. I know.
Pastor, don't wear dress, bad man thing.
We gotta introduce Audrey. I mean, she's family, but you cannot just start the segment by laughing. Percy, introduce the lady.
Welcome, Audrey.
Just welcome.
Because I've known Audrey for a very long time.
Yeah, and Audrey is no stranger to us at the table, though it's been a year, so it's kind of like our anniversary. What did you bring for the anniversary? What should you bring for it?
You know,
bring no anniversary
you see,
gift.
I should have thought of that before I got in the car, right?
Yes, you should have. And before you proudly announced that it's been a year
right?
since you saw us.
Almost a year.
Yeah.
I think it was June because I think the hurricane prep starts.
That's a good save. It's a good save,
yeah.
Miss PR lady. So we're a month off from the anniversary, so she can come back.
She can come back
and bring the gift.
gift.
No, but we're delighted to have you. We're delighted to have you with us. We know that Expo is underway somewhere else, and possibly you have duties there. You have to show up and walk the red carpet.
Well, we were happy to be there this year because we are the energy sponsor for the JMAE Expo. We are covering the cost of energy for them
and providing it, really.
And providing it,
yeah,
right?
because it's coming out of your larder.
So we're, and you know what? The JMEA Expo, I remember going to the Expo as a girl. You know, without. Oh, I'll take that.
So that's your anniversary gift.
There you go. It has grown, And I remember when it used to be the JMA, JEA, Expo, whatever the year was, long time ago. And now it's EA, you know, you can see the coming together, and it makes sense. You know,
Unity.
lots of things are better when you have amalgamation, collaboration, and so on. So it is bigger because not only is it in the arena, but I gather now you're going to enter from the indoor sports complex as well. So, you know, there's that whole space as well.
Yeah.
Which is a good sign. It means that there's more business to put on display, and more business means that there's more employment, there's more, you know, growth, etc. happening.
More consumption of energy.
Exactly.
So I have to ask you,
going there, but yes.
Consumption and
consumer, between the consumer and the customer.
And the
Yes,
customer,
the customer.
But there are more customers too. So we're happy about that. And you know, when we take a step back and look at our role in terms of supporting businesses in the country, really and truly, without electricity, we don't really have modernity at all.
Certainly not all hours, because right now we're outdoors, beautiful sunshine.
I
mean,
it's lovely here,
I'm using battery power for my
which
yeah
feeds into and then
an
your
energy supply
your
somewhere.
YouTube audience.
True.
That's another
Yes.
energy supply.
Yes.
The Wi-Fi, the
Yes.
telecoms,
Everything.
God bless telecoms, but they also need electricity to make their own.
And even if
service
you're using
a
batteries, you have to
possibility.
recharge your batteries. So there's
Recharge your
that.
battery. If you're talking water supply, they need to pump it through. You're talking factories of any size, unless you are like a 100% organic, beginning to end. And even then, maybe just in terms of storage of
You still have to
materials
harness
or whatever.
energy somehow.
There is. There's just so much that we contribute to.
You're saying energy
So
is life.
we have to be there. Yeah, we have to be there.
Let me
And be
ask
there
you,
in two.
for this expo, I know you're the partner, so you are the underlying supplier. But
Yes,
are
one
you
of
also? Do you have a display?
Yes, we
going?
do. So
What-
we have
what-
two
what-
displays.
Yeah.
Yes, we have two displays. So, and one speaks to the future where we're going. So the
Yeah.
inside display, inside the arena, is your can I say typical? You're gonna see what it is that we are supplying right now. Everybody think, light.
So how do you showcase it? Did you set up a bedroom? Did you set up a house? What you set up? A house, an office?
So our booth, and
Yes.
I can't give it all away. Y'all gotta come, right?
Just enough to tease the mind.
So we're gonna have some screens up where we have videos running that highlight the various areas that we're involved in. And of course, we're gonna have our team in there. I'll be there on a couple of the days as well. It's a cross-functional.
So do you have a VIP lounge?
VIP lounge.
Where Percy and
Everybody's a VIP lounge.
Yes. So the whole place is a VIP lounge. Goodie bags, giveaways.
Oh Lord.
Energy
Giveaways
vouchers.
Is our name. Giveaways is our name.
Don't
So
never
when
bring
you
any
co-
giveaways.
You have to go to the expo. You have to go to the expo.
She should come with some giveaways.
You know what?
Anniversary.
You're reading my mind, though, you know, because I said,
Let's hear it.
we need to do some giveaways on Bess one day when we go on Bess, you know.
Yes,
because
please.
we've been in this giveaway mode and we're just like, ask a simple
So
question.
now I'm just hurt.
Easy cheesy question, you know. And then the person say
Yes,
on
yes,
YouTube,
yes,
just
yes.
answer, boop, 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 boop. And then we say, the first correct answer, you get $5,000 off your JPS bill or $5,000 top up as the case may be. It's $5,000 to your account.
All right, we'll
So-
practice it on us. Ask us a question.
And we can get it
Wait,
right.
Let's do a test run.
So I'm gonna just say a few things, and then I'll ask you like the easiest question in the world.
Yes.
And you get it right, and then boom, there
and
we
it's
go.
right.
So,
All right, we're planning.
Here we go.
No, man, I'm not putting her on the spot. Next thing you know, they don't come back.
No, that's fine. Cause like I said, for true, we have giveaways. So we, as people might know, we have a mobile app that has got to be talked about because it's part of modernity.
We're coming back out of the lockdown.
Yes.
Your system.
Yes.
What has the response?
The recent customer service upgrade.
Yes.
Okay. So we did have a customer service upgrade from April 6 to 12.
Right.
And so a lot of
Don't
things
bother
were
take her off
delayed.
script, you know.
No, man,
Share
that's
only
fine.
what you.
I'm glad to share because people might be wondering like, we're good now.
Yes,
We're good now.
we're good now.
So we are good now. However, if you feel like you're experiencing a little delay in something, don't be too, give us a little room because you know how it is sometimes. You do something and then you have some little edges or one smooth out. But I don't think we are because I'm not hearing any complaints. I don't want to say that categorically and then somebody said, but by and large, we should be good. So we would have had a little backlog of new connections because we weren't doing any new connections in that time. And so you had a little backlog because we could still accept applications.
Right, but you couldn't
So then
process.
you have to clear away because you have the normal flow and then you have those that you weren't doing, right? So we have been working on clearing the backlog. I believe, team, hold me up on this. I believe that we have just about cleared the backlog.
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful.
So are you
And
going to
that
be
we are now
conducting a
in
survey?
Regular. Well,
Tell me about your surveys.
we are not planning to conduct a survey on that.
I wouldn't either.
Because that's more back-end stuff we were upgrading.
Yes.
So the persons who come and do business with us, they might not feel
They might not feel like is this car really faster?
Like, what happened? But it's really automating some processes on the back end.
Yeah.
So eventually you should feel like, you know,
this happens faster.
Smoother though. You know, you should feel that eventually. And it's also the foundation for some other features that we want to introduce later on, months to come. So you should see something. But on the road of surveys though, we do an annual survey to check in with our customers to say, okay, what are the things that are working for you? What are the things that are not working for you? How do you feel about X or Y and so on? Like, I'll give you an example on how we're able to really fix that. One of the things that used to pain our customers was when we had planned outages and we used to advertise on the radio to say, community XYZ will be out of power because we're doing a maintenance. And then maybe back in the day when we just had maybe 2-3 radio stations, that was fine. But now with like
28,
I'm saying,
and
better
possibly
part of
counting.
30. It's like I never heard it.
Are you
so yeah, so what we do now is we said, okay, let's fix that. So now when there's a planned outage, there's a text message, there's the email, there's a social media post, and if it's a really big outage, like we're taking out an entire feeder, which could mean the better part of a parish or then there's a WhatsApp message as well, because nothing spreads your news like WhatsApp, I tell you.
Both good and bad.
Both good and bad.
Good
But
and
the
bad.
bad goes faster. Have you noticed this?
I know.
So we are finding now that when it comes on to planned outages, nary a peep.
Everybody knows.
Everybody knows.
Everybody knows.
In fact, if somebody has a planned outage and did not get a notification, they're like, what happened? Because it's not an exception. It's like, okay, maybe there was a oversight or human error. It's working and I'm mashing up your teams.
All right.
So that's working. So now what we are trying to now get a better handle on now is the unplanned outages, because stuff happens like cars.
Some accidents.
Listen, there has been an escalation like we have not seen.
Are you
in
kidding
cars running into poles, and I'm like,
what's this new thing?
What is this about?
Is who can miss the pole? Is a competition?
It feels like.
But do you find that it is
this notification on a regular note?
But do you find that it's common to certain roadways?
You know, I can't
because
even
that
say
might
that
be
because it seems to be. You know, we probably should do a deep dive into that.
And see.
But it seems to be non-discriminatory. Can I tell you? It just seems to be like
happening.
any which part.
Okay, so then it's about the driver then.
It's about driving.
It's the driver.
There's speed and there's maybe some just lack of care. Like, I'm doing my thing.
No, it's just people tired. Maybe it's people tired and overwhelmed and distracted. Yeah.
Drag racing.
Yeah, but those things were always happening.
And you know, I really don't know. But what we're doing now with that is when there is a motor vehicle accident, you hit a pole, we have a notification that we try as best as possible to go up on social media as fast as
you can.
Send out the WhatsApps as fast as we can, and the text messages to say, hey, you're out because of a motor vehicle accident. Looks like you're going to be back in by 3 or whatever it is, depending on, you know, the extent of the damage and so on.
A general WhatsApp message or to everybody, or it would be to the people in the area?
To the people in the area. So we try and keep it localized, because the truth of the matter is, if we were to send everybody everything that is going on in Jamaica all the time, we'd be overwhelmed.
You'd be just, and that's all we'd be doing, spending time reading news.
Exactly.
I have to ask you about the theme of this year's expo.
Sure.
Connecting the world to Jamaica.
Right.
What does it
to JPS?
Yeah. What does it mean for you in your how does that theme resonate with what your plans are and what you're doing?
Well, it resonates with us because that's really about being modern. It's about being competitive. It's about having our services at the ready to compete out there. So, for example, one of our booths, so we have two. The other one is not really as much a sit-down booth. It's a display of one of our electric vehicles. That is a trend in the world that is most definitely going to be here as well. So we're saying, look, we are going to get you all ready for what's happening in the world. So not only are we leading by example by beginning to change out our fleet, when they come to their end of use, we're replacing them. Some of them, we're replacing them with electric vehicles. But we're also building out a charging network called Charge and Go. Go figure. And that's across Jamaica. So we have about 10 now, and by the end of the year we'll have another 10, so we should have 20 charging stations across the island. And we will continue, because we know that one of the things with electric vehicles is something they call range anxiety.
Yes.
Like, oh my God,
I'm going to run out. Yes, I'll have to put my battery in the sun.
And so on. But you know what, there are some advantages though to electric vehicle. When you're going downhill, it charges battery. Yes, when you're sitting in traffic, it does not charge. It does not use any power.
Yeah.
So there's that. There's a mobile app. If you are in England, you can do your business with GPS on the mobile app. And we know what? There are people abroad who love it for the payment side of it, because this is how it works for some people.
like the...
They're like...
And I like the
pay
prepaid
grandma
service
light bill
too.
for me. Pay and them send the money. Then them hear from the shout, they never pay. And why can't they use it for something else? Like, that was not the plan.
No, grandma needs
you
light.
can have the app on your phone wherever you be, Los Angeles,
and take
Peru.
care of business.
It's kind of interesting. We have some people
Convenience
from
is
Brazil
great.
and that. You're like, Jamaicans.
You're getting
Jamaicans are everywhere. Can I just tell you?
I know.
They are totally everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we all love to
and
pay.
they want to have the control and the surety.
Yeah.
When you are work
That is
hard
done.
overseas, you want to know that the deed is done back home. You don't want to guess and spell. And you have some sad stories. So that's one of the ways that we help people to just
Convenience and
manage their
control.
business, connect them and keep them connected. They can know when there's an outage in the area. They can see all of the notifications. They can see it on the map as well, by the way, on the app. They can track the usage monthly, weekly, and even daily if you have a smart meter. So there are lots and lots of things that you can do.
Are there plans for the expansion of capacity and the introduction of new technologies that would make the price of energy
go down significantly?
more
about that.
or more appealing to these people that you're drawing to Jamaica now, connecting Jamaica to the world?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that is always a concern of ours, and that's where the diversification comes in. But that's really in the hands of the government.
Yes. Say that again.
It's really in the hands of the government.
Does JPS got anything now? Diversification?
No. So the government has an overall plan for the country.
Right.
So they decide on the energy mix.
Okay,
right.
that came up in the budget, It was a point of no. I think the Julian Robinson made mention we have not got a call for diversification in terms of green energy.
Right,
the percentage
they're the ones
mix.
that will send out the invitation and say, hey, come and bid on X amount of megawatts to here and there and so on. Exactly. So there is some diversification. There's the Content Solar Plant out in Clarendon. There's Paradise Solar Plant in
Do we have any hydro
Westmoreland.
plants?
GPS have 9 hydro plants.
All right, I give you a chance to give me the TV face. So we're using water, we're using solar,
Solar.
we're using wind.
We have a small wind farm in Monroe at 3 megawatts.
Yeah.
Wigton has much more wind than we do, but we do have some diversification. But I think overall, maybe less than 20% of all of the energy we use.
I think we had someone on with us talking about building the wind farms putting the solar farms in the water, building it on water. Are you there yet?
We're not there. We're not there. But I tell you where we are though.
Yes.
We have built, and at a time when it was done in 2018, I believe, our hybrid energy storage, which, all right, so let me explain the point of that. Unlike a power plant that runs 24 hours regardless of what you're doing, regardless of whether the sun is shining
or rain or fall.
It just goes on, right? That's what we call base load. It's always on. Then you have renewables, where you're pretty much relying on how nature feels today, right?
Yes,
bright sunny day, awesome. Wind, wonderful. The rivers are going, if we have enough rainfall and so on, it's great. However, if there is a dip in, let us say there's cloud cover
Right.
at your peak hours, which are
Yeah.
from 10 to 2. If there is a dip there, or if there is no wind,
Yes.
then you have an instant
The flag
fall
falls.
in the power supply. Now, question is, what happens when the renewables fall off? What do? You need to have your base load up and running.
Pick up the slack.
And picking up the slack. And it's not all the time, depending on the kind of power plant it is, it's not all the time that you can have it immediately chip in. It's not like a pipe. And that's where the hybrid energy storage comes in. When you have a sudden drop in renewables, the hybrid storage picks up and says, hey, I'll fill in that gap until we get our base load up and running.
Hybrid is
So it's
battery.
Well,
it's a giant battery system.
Call it a ginormous battery, just for the
Yes,
very, very
for easy
oversimplified.
understanding.
So all the engineers out there, please forgive me.
We know
but
it's
it
not
is-
a giant battery.
but in a very, very general kind of way.
So that is what helps when the renewables go down.
Absolutely. But you would need more of that if you're going to have more renewables.
More, right.
So you might look in like some case studies where people have gone very, very heavy renewables and then they've ended up in some significant blackouts because
The balance is not
yes,
there.
Exactly.
The balance is not there.
And they weren't able to come back up fast enough. Because
Right.
a power plant, people think of light as a flicker switch, but power plants are not necessarily like that. So you have some which are up, and here we go. And
Nuclear
that's some that
energy.
take like
Yes.
right.
To heat to the
somebody
point
online
of.
was saying that what does electric car have to do with my grandmother was faced with rising electricity bill? Which is you are saying if we're going to reduce electricity costs, it's a government thing if you don't do anything about that.
Well, we don't have anything to do with the diversification of the energy.
Yes.
But to that person's question, we take a holistic approach to energy. So it's not just about producing energy to say, here you go, you can power your fridge and your this and that. We try our best to be as efficient as possible so that they can have the most efficient costing, right? Remember now that we don't have oil here. So the best we can do is diversify our fuel sources. So we have diversified to an extent. We have some LNG. We have the oil that from old time, and then you have the renewables and so on. But can I just say, on the point of electric vehicles, that it is cheaper to run an electric vehicle than to go to the gas pump. You know that?
I know.
By about 30%. And if you live out of town and do a daily commute, if you're like in Portmore, Spanish Town, Olaba Maypen,
You make a saving.
yes.
There's an experience I'm having
definitely.
which remains inexplicable to me. When I was on your postpaid service, my light bill would be like $120,000. On the prepaid service, if it hits 75,000, that's a lot.
Really?
And I'm trying to understand it. And I don't think it's my aggressive conservation. I was always conserving aggressively.
You were always conserving. But you know what? I tell you something.
But,
now.
yeah.
Consciousness is a hell of a thing, though, Can I say that on radio?
Absolutely. Which one? Consciousness?
Consciousness or health?
Consciousness is almost a curse word these days.
when you know that you've paid already and that there is a potential end to this, as opposed to postpaid where you can just go on and on. There is a shift in your behavior, even though you may not even be.
Oh, there's definitely a shift in.
outright
There's definitely
aware.
a shift in mine. Is the rest of my household? But I don't think they have
haven't
shifted.
gotten the message. They haven't
We've
gotten
been
the-
trying.
But the fact that
but,
you are seeing
but
that
I
means
think that
there
the
has been a shift.
But I think the prepaid option gives customers that growing consciousness.
It does. It
that
does.
that because conservation is not really about money. In the overall measure of things, conservation is about efficiency in the use of what's in your environment that powers you.
Because people tend to think
And
of
people should
conservation as
conserve.
deprivation. Like
Yeah, people should conserve whether they could afford to pay or not.
Yeah.
The thing in regards to electricity.
Oh, we have to come to your other subject matter.
That's
right.
fine.
So JPS is what percentage of the power that is generated is paid for? Meaning, how, as your consumer versus consumption, you go again.
You want to ask her that question?
customer-
Let me take her. Let me take her
You've been doing
to.
some hard work in terms of it gone now?
We are doing a lot of work in that regard,
Yeah.
yes, and I do believe we are seeing reductions because
Okay.
we have a twofold approach. So there is the hard go in there, tear down the wires,
law enforcement approach.
That has very limited
effectiveness.
Effect, to be very honest with you, because people just put up by the wires as soon as you turn your back. And the truth of the matter is, let me go back a little.
Because their need for the product outweighs their fear of your.
Their fear for the most part. Whenever you say you're coming, them.
Yes.
Right? So there's that element. But if I were to go to the root, because all right, you don't want this tree to grow and you keep chopping off the leaves.
Yes.
But maybe what you need to do is just dig out the root, right? So at the root of it is, for the most part, for some people this is not the case, but for the most part there's an inability to afford electricity. Now, in other jurisdictions where you have an inability to afford electricity, those people who are likely to be the same people who cannot afford medical services.
Yeah,
they are likely to be the same people who cannot afford to send
food
their children
and
to
school fees and so on.
So they would be on whatever you want to call it.
A welfare
Social
plan.
Security, social safety net, welfare.
Yeah.
They come by different names. But the idea is we catch you because you are going to fall through some crack. Right? And so in some places they get a home to live in with all the amenities and so on. So when you look at what has worked in other places, places that have had high theft, but our teams have been to India, they've been to Brazil, at one point Chile, I think, and what they have seen undoubtedly is that there is a need for the administration of the country, the government of the country, to teach people to fish and to assist them in the spaces where they are incapable of fishing.
A catchment.
If they are incapable of fishing.
Yeah.
There are people who are incapable of fishing.
Yes,
like
they're disabled persons, they're elderly persons who are.
And so the government has a role to play in
providing for those needs. Yeah.
Now I know we have the constraints of being in a third world country, but we're not so sure about how third world we are.
I want you to leave.
Which third world country?
I want you to leave a minute for your general electrical registration or certification. We have like 1 minute.
1 minute, literally. No. So let me just say before I go over there that therefore a social safety net is critical.
A critical part of the solution.
Addressing the issue of affordability.
Yes.
So
yes.
on this now, so the government, a lot of people know that when you have a new place, you need to ask the GEI to certify. Your electrician will wire your place and apply for it to be passed. The government has privatized that process. So you don't apply to them anymore to get your place certified. What you do now is you go on their website. They are now called the Government Electrical Regulator because they are not undertaking the inspection themselves.
Right.
So you have to look for a private
contractor or
exactly. So you look for an electrician and he wires and and you look for an inspector on their website, and he comes and inspects and so on and sends the certificate over to JPS, but you get a copy as well.
Yeah, it used to be a very time-consuming. It used to take long. How is it now under the privatized?
I think with the deregulation, it is not as long. I think the main complaint we're getting, we meaning it's not our thing,
but you can't connect
because this is now private. This is the man that deciding what the price is, so it's no longer regulated in that sense.
So the main complaint has been cost.
So you have to shop around. It's like supermarket now. You shop around and see which one suits you.
Yeah, so to the website, we're going to give you another 5 minutes when we come back from the break, especially. This is our anniversary gift, the second anniversary gift, when we return with Audrey Williams from JPS.
You're simply the best. Better than all the rest. Better than anyone. You're simply the best.
Bess FM-100 on your dial. Keep listening.
Goodness mercy, it's me again, Lord, your restorer, your game changer. Join me every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. and Bess FM-100. It's Apostle Clive Campbell, aka the Khaki Suit Man, coming to you from 8 to 12 Orange Street, also Richmond District, Mandeville. Embrace the change.
Is this the confusion you feel when trying to work your way through medical systems in Jamaica? Try a dose of Ask Dr. Mary every Thursday at 5 to 6 p.m. Let Dr. Mary help you understand your medical problems and bring you to a calmer place.
Here we are, standing in your presence.
Glory Connect! Glory Connect! Join us on Bess FM with Apostle Prophetess Denise Wellington and Pastor Alicia Gonzalez Morgan. Every Saturday at 4 p.m. on Bess FM Radio. Come out and discover your purpose. Take up that phone and dial now. Call and experience something new. Experience something great. Experience your own expression of encountering the supernatural glory of God's abundant life and transformation being fulfilled. What are you waiting for? Are you depressed, oppressed, worn out, tired, or stressed? Have you discovered your true purposes yet? This is the moment. What are you waiting for? Connect now to Glory Connection. Call and experience the Word of God, intercession, healing, and deliverance. Experience something great. Receive salvation and breakthrough. Connect. Tell a friend, family, and your neighbor. See you then.
Half a tree, one and drive, half a tree. Bossy, how you do I take taxi star?
Jano, I want to tell you, say, 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and I check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
Yeah, hear me? You waste all that time on shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose the problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. Yeah, hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me, send you.
Wow, you big star. Yeah, man, respect my boss.
Yeah, try calling her, cause trust me.
Waiters Auto Spares and Repairs, good afternoon.
Ah, what a relief.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-time taxi service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
From anywhere at all. You can call us at 926-3866.
We are something special on the road.
Bess100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876-276-8935. That's 276-8935.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minett and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Bess100.
Wagwan.
Guten Tag. Buongiorno.
We are
The Kingstones.
I think I love you, Bess FM, because you're better than the rest of them. It's so amazing how I love you, Bess FM, because you're better than the rest of them.
So we're back. We're in the final stages with our wonderful guest from GPS, the lady who come and say, I'm so tired, and then she's so vivacious. the rest of us are trying to keep up. But Audrey, before you go, tell us a little bit more about the efficiencies associated with using this new approach to having your premises certified. I know certification comes. We have an old house and we had to certify a part of it. And it makes sense. And on previous shows, your people have talked about the need for persons to revisit the installation and so on. When that time comes and you need certification in order to either get new service or to continue the supply of service, what do you do?
What do you do? You go online. So the ministry has set it up nicely for you. You go to ger.gov.jm. I know some people not really too savvy that way, but just lean on your people who are savvy.
I'm gonna be wicked to you and say, remember now, you don't have no electricity, so you're gonna go on the website.
No man, you have to go like library.
All right.
Go to the library have internet cafe set up in the library now. Libraries are getting there.
Yes,
they've been there for a while too.
As it should. All right. So is it only accessible online, or you can? Is there another way?
If you can walk into them, I am really not sure if you can, because all of the information that I am seeing out of the ministry is that you go to the portal. Now, I don't know if it is that people can go down to the ministry, the actual ministry's office.
Technology
STEM, science, technology, energy. But I think for the most part, it is
no
very
phone number.
Likely if you go down there, let me see if they have a phone number. All right, I'm going to give you guys a GER number.
Yes, please.
Contact the Government Electrical Regulator, the Licensing, Registration and Examination Branch at 276.
I'll write it down.
7530. And that looks like a cell phone. 276-7530. So maybe you can also send them a WhatsApp. And then you have two landlines here as well. You have 934 6496 and 934 4987.
Their actual office.
That's beautifully done.
So off the boulevard, what you have is the examination board. So of course, all your electricians have to do their examination,
be certified themselves.
Get their license, right? So he should be able to
show you his license.
Them have a license. No, they're supposed to have a real license and show you that I have been licensed by the government of Jamaica to do this. So you know that this is no hocus pocus, it's a real deal. So you can do that, and it's not just for new premises, by the way. I just wanted to make this point before I dash. If you have new premises, if you have had damage,
fire, we had a fire, we had to.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. No, fire is serious business, right? So you have to get recertified if there's a fire, and also if you've had an extension as well, because now the supply requirements are different, and you would have an extension is almost like a new connection, really. Right. You have a new part of building, new sockets, etc., new wiring, so you want to get that done. Or if you had your building, everything is good, nothing is wrong, but you are inactive for 12 months or more, if you're active for a year, then you will need to be recertified. So run on up, online that is, to the GER and get yourself a private electrical inspector and get yourself an electrician also. It cannot be the same person, by the way.
Who wire the house and then inspect it.
He might be qualified to do both, but it's either or.
He can inspect his own work.
Somebody else has to inspect. You can't pass your own work.
Okay. And has it added to the efficiency of getting your new service or having your connection established?
I want to think that it has been a positive change. I haven't heard to the contrary. So I want to think it's a positive change.
But there's a way that you can track that because you used to know how long it would take.
Somebody might say, I did it in XYZ time. So I'm not hearing that anymore.
You're not getting...
I'm not getting that complaint. The complaint is the money. That's the complaint. So they have to kind of maybe bargain, negotiate, and so on. Sometimes people ask their friends, anybody, which is a lot of how we do things too, referrals.
All right. I would love to ask you some of the interesting questions being posed online, but our time is up.
Okay. But you can send them and maybe we can. Ooh, yes,
well,
indeed.
here's one of our favorite guys out of Canada asking, how are we going to save again on our light bills? Still waiting on her strategy.
As a country or as an individual?
Individual, man.
Well,
because, okay, as an individual.
You want to attempt it for true?
I actually am supposed to be somewhere else at 9:30, but I'm going to take 1 minute and just try and assist this person, because the truth of the matter is sometimes if you have a little bit of knowledge, it will go a long way.
Sure.
So the first thing I would suggest you do, don't just go around willy-nilly plugging out everything. Just get a good sense of what uses what in your house, and then you'll be able to tap into the biggest users and what is the most efficient way forward. So what we have found in our experience, that when people's bills go through the roof, almost always, I shouldn't say almost always, in very great part of the time, there is an old fridge at work.
Get rid of your old fridge.
Freeze. Yes, the water's still cold, but guess what? It's using
Inefficient.
that much more power than when it was much younger. So I would say if your fridge is anything over 7 years old, contemplate changing it. It can make a big difference. I personally knew somebody. Their bills were coming like $30,000 and they were like, this can't continue. I know for you that's child's play, but for other people that's like, what? And the fridge, however, was a very mature fridge.
Yeah.
They changed out their fridge and their bill fell by more than 50%. I kid you not. So that is one area that you can look at. Electric stoves are another big one. I thought that the fridge was more than the stove, and it was actually the reverse. Electric stoves use more than the refrigerator. If you use a dryer,
well, anything generating heat like that.
the big heaters and the big coolers, deep freeze. Deep freeze is even more than the fridge. So the deep freeze, the fridge, the dryer, and the electric stove are the 4 biggest culprits in town. And people change out their bulbs and put LEDs. That's all good and well, but let me tell you the truth, lighting is about 20% of your bill.
Those are not energy hogs.
Not really. Everything adds up, so you're gonna do them. But those are not the big ones, okay? Secondly, get an electrician to just check and make sure that your grounding is good, at your electricity, your wiring is good, because
No leakage.
sometimes you have a leakage and you don't even know, and if you knew, it would have been a simple fix. So those are the 2 main things I want to leave with them. We ourselves are also working toward how we can lower electricity by our own efficiencies and our own, within our power, diversification. But I would say go there
at the personal
first.
level, that's what you tackle first. Excellent advice. Thank you, Miss Williams.
You are most welcome. Thank you for having me.
See you at the expo.
See you at the expo.
She's going to give us surprises next week.
Well,
Send the prizes
yes,
format.
yes.
Giveaways.
Yes. You just tell him. Yes, Percy.
Look out for it.
Look out
all
for it.
4 eyes.
There you go.
I'm going to get it.
Definitely getting it. All right. It's always a pleasure to have someone from JPS. The knowledge is good. We wish you well with the expo, Miss Audrey. The producer will ensure that you can leave safely without. Yeah, because you're on your own camera. Oh Lord, we don't have our wonderful. Oh, come.
Picture, not
yes, we're taking a picture.
No picture.
And on the business of. Yes. On the business of sharing the beauty of the venue. One of our listeners here says, can't you pan the camera so we can see a little bit of what's going on here? Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Are they from overseas?
These are Jamaicans abroad.
When you're abroad, you can't get enough of Jamaican, you know.
Even a leaf.
Straight up.
One Jamaican leaf.
Straight up.
We'll do it. Yeah, but thank you for sharing with us this morning. I love it that you're being good corporate citizens supporting the expo. The expo might be a bit old-fashioned, but it still has its place.
It still works.
It still works.
It's a great networking opportunity for the people who go there. Because today is what they call, no, not today. Buyers. Buyers Day. When it's not open to the public. These are businesses. Business.
That's the business side of it.
Oh, you're trying that. That's all right.
Yeah. Hello, Lowell. Yeah, we're sharing some love with the camera.
Right. So, but that's important. So,
let me see what Conrad is saying in the meantime.
Friday,
and Saturday and Sunday, yes.
And you're connecting Jamaica to the world.
Earl Brown said, why would a person in Jamaica need a dryer? That's
What?
true.
Dry ears.
No,
The dry
man.
ears.
I'm a regular
It's
thing
ear.
that. Regular thing that.
Not that kind
Not
of dryer.
The dryer, the clothes dryer. The hair dryer, all right. It's a little dryer. But the clothes dryer
From
is a wicked
Percy.
one. Thank you. Let me tell you something.
But we are in the
people
hurricane.
People who are in apartment complexes, a lot of them use
They have no
dryers.
drying yard.
They have people who work
Yeah.
on shift. Cheese.
Yeah. Yes, I can see how
People who work on shift,
it's
who
very
are like washing in
convenient.
the middle of the night, and they're like, I'm not waiting till the morning to hang this out.
Yeah.
That's not happening. My life does not come.
Doesn't allow me to.
So they use a dryer
Yeah.
as well. There are people who live in cold and
But-
clammy conditions up in the hills and so
Yeah.
on. Not a lot of drying. And you have people who just don't want to go outside. They're
But
like,
you see,
I'm not doing that.
the reality of it is that with the chief washer in the family also being someone who works
Yes.
in the days.
Yes.
Usually it's the
Time.
women who take care of laundry.
Time.
They don't have no
Honest to
time to be.
goodness.
Washing take place in the night.
Mm-hmm.
All right, my dear. Have a beautiful and a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Okay. So, Mr. Percival.
No, I know about the dryer, but what came
Oh,
to
no,
mind
yeah.
was the dryer. That's a lot.
For the hair.
Yeah, but I know
Mhm.
people use dryers a lot of time.
Yeah.
In terms of their home thing, because it works enough. If
It's
it's some
early.
place where rain or fall hard. Yeah,
But you see, most people think that in Jamaica,
Your sun.
because you have so much sun, and we do have a lot of sun, and those who can use it. If you have a housekeeper who's at home in the days, taking care of laundry and so on, you don't need to use a dryer. Instead, you pay for a housekeeper, and there's employment that you add into the economy. But for the most part, women going out to work, women studying, so many women being teachers, being nurses, and so on. The only time we get to take care of the things that used to be done during the daylight hours is after 6. And so a dryer becomes a part of the mix.
I just thinking about it. Fridge, electric stove.
Most people buy a fridge and have it for 15 years. You're not thinking that after 7 years you should be looking
No, 'cause if
to change
it's
it.
still doing what it's doing, why are you gonna
Yeah,
change it?
but you see, you pay one way or another.
Yeah, so you need a
Take the hit,
stove, a fridge.
take the hit and buy a new fridge, or you're gonna be paying out in 10 cents per day
In terms of what happened.
for the cost of its inefficiency. Let me see what Conrad is saying. How much US cents per kilowatt we pay on Jamaica? How much is it, Percy?
The double check.
20 something cents?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it has gone down further in terms of it.
I remember it was like 24, 25.
Yeah, but I think they've moved it now, but then it.
Yeah.
Going
But
back up.
but a part of it, and I have to say this for Conrad's benefit, the high cost of energy, I'm telling you, like 40% of what we pay is tax,
And she said
which is imposed by government. If you just look at the cost of energy, simpliciter, without the add-on, it's a different story. Our government sometimes is our greatest enemy.
You say that, but it's for real,
Yeah, I know. I have a way of saying these things.
It's real when you think of when people begin to look at it. That is why with government, the Bible says you must pray for them so they can.
So you can have peaceful lives.
But,
Yeah.
But if you have a government, all them do is give you a heartache.
Pray on you.
Yeah.
I mean, when I hear Jamaicans protesting, participating in a census, don't want to be counted.
Say that.
You know we're in trouble. We don't even want the people put a number against us. Lest they decide to use the census. Anyway, there are some things which kind of bear out what when the comment I made in the paper, we knew that the Rastafarian community felt hard done by in how matters relating to the regulation of cannabis, how those matters were proceeding. There's a story in today's paper that the Rastas are protesting and saying that the state has breached their ganja rights. Of all the things, when even a long time ago as a teeny bit lawyer, I remember we had one of my classmates was a Rasta man. He didn't have the locks, but it was the heart. And he was at the time advocating for some freeing up of the regulations that prohibited possession and use because of the sacramental role that cannabis plays in their faith. And I remember, I think he was involved in a case, and at the time, I didn't have any great understanding of it, but I remember instinctively understanding and being supportive of the position that any religion in a time of religious freedom, any religion that chooses to honor their faith in a specific way should not find that the state is setting laws to criminalize or to penalize you for doing it. That was a long established principle, and there was no cause for Jamaica to be moving in some arbitrary and contrary direction. Now we're seeing in this day and age, when we've even had to look at Canadian cannabis coming to Jamaica. Yeah, the Rastafarian community, members of them are saying that a Rastaman was brought before the court, arrested and charged for possession of cannabis. Rasnegos Largi, or Largi, I don't know how you pronounce his name, Largie. He was arrested on December 22nd, 2022 for possession of 2 pounds of ganja, and he was brought before the courts to answer to the charge. Now, one of the things that puzzled me, as the government was saying on the one hand that they recognize and that they honor these rights, on the other hand, they were not giving them licenses to transport or to. So if you have a church of 1,000 people, everybody need to come and have their sacrament, is it that all of them need to go plant something in the yard and walk with 2 ounces? Why can't you have a sanctioned process for the church itself? Just like how your church would go buy a crate of wine and whatever. Why wouldn't you be sensitive to the fact that the church need to be able to package it, to process it, to make sure that it is of good quality for the sacrament? Why wouldn't you? To me, it seems like you're giving with one hand and taking with the other.
I was never meant to give, or it was meant to give to certain people because of the...
So it's a hollow gesture when you say that you're acknowledging it as a sacrament.
No,
because
if the face of it,
so it can't be commercial. It being a sacrament mean it must always come out of some pouch under your bed.
No, but that's what it is. It
was out of order.
It was larger commercial thing.
Oh, it's time.
The big man that he could make a $1.05 for the people who were locked up for very, 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 very
who paid the price for it.
They can't access.
They mustn't get commercial rights.
No.
Oh, to them it's a sacrament. So it should never be packaged properly. It should never be branded. You can't sell it. I go and buy wine and wafers for my communion. So the Rastafarian must only give it away? I don't understand the thinking.
But you don't understand the thinking. You understand the thinking, but for me, because I don't smoke.
I get what you mean.
I understand the thing.
Yeah.
So if we have agreed under the laws that for them it is a sacrament, allow the people to practice their sacrament.
No, you're always having this pretense that you have done something to recognize people's rights, but in the nitty-gritty of it, all you've done is made a mockery of the person's belief. Because if I have, church A, and I want to have sacrament done for my people, and if they have to pay for it because it's not free, the fact that it grow and somebody has to plant it and water it and look after it. You're entitled to 5. Yeah. So I just wonder what it is that they're really saying when they strip the Rastafarian church of all potential to be commercial in the approach to preparation and presentation of their sacrament. Churches in Jamaica, Rasta churches in Jamaica, should be able to package the sacrament and ship it to their branches abroad. Well, I don't know if it is done legitimately. But I'm saying, when you recognize a thing, you must, in your recognition, give it the dignity and the support that it requires to be effective.
They're not being very effective.
No.
But
so they're protesting.
But we agree then with the protest. And just from a personal point of view, I don't smoke it. It should be more money they give the people. Give them.
All right. So may I share the process with you that they have instituted? When the government gives a permit, it first comes from the Ministry of Justice. Why the Ministry of Justice is in ganja permit is beyond me, but you will see why in a short moment. Then it goes to the Police High Commissioner's office. So you see, it is about when they profile and target a person. Is police business this now? You know, it's not regulation of the ordinary sort where, let's say it was any other good or product. You get your permit from whichever civil society agency is handling it, not Ministry of Justice.
The Ministry of Justice does dispenser that they do. That's what it happens. That's how it works.
No, the licenses that dispensaries have come from the CLA. But for the resta man, his permit comes from Ministry of Justice. It's it makes no sense except that you want to politicize it and micromanage it, and because it's really a police matter. So when you get the permit, Ministry of Justice issues it, goes to the Police High Commissioner's office, because rest assured a rasta man is going to be picked up by a police, and then you can use it on the road. So he says over 13 times this brethren, Raslarji, has been allowed to do this, and yet still the same brethren is being hauled into court under possession and dealing charges. That is what has caused the protest. Yeah, it's called a permit. No, permit is in that halfway house where it's discretionary.
A license different.
Well, license typically you pay for it, but they shouldn't have to pay for this. You know, this is their right as a citizen to pursue the freedom of religion. So they shouldn't be paying for anything. It's a shame, eh? We have a long way to go, but thankfully, the Lord has provided some people with knowledge and persistence who will call it out for what it is and say the right prayers. And they will even go into fasting and prayer for you. The pastor is one of that ilk. Good morning, Wayne. Good to see you online. Let me see what Adrian says. Good morning, TMC team. Someone was executed in Singapore just for being convicted of conspiring to smuggle ganja. This is the Singapore that Jamaica is constantly touting as a model. They never actually smuggled the ganja, you know. They conspired to smuggle it.
But I get permission to do it.
What, in Singapore?
Yeah,
I don't know.
They get permission to smoke.
I know that the drugs are viewed with fierceness in some of these jurisdictions.
That's interesting.
And good morning to you, Taki. But Taki name look like it's spelled different. Taklemkwa. It's spelled different. Yeah. And he shares my sadness that politicians are so short-sighted. So short-sighted. The way we make laws and regulations and the things that we insist on, it's just, yeah. It's one of the things that we definitely have to address. It is time for the 9:30 break. When we come back, we'll just go into the last segment, wrapping up on some of the things from the week that was, and hopefully setting a path for the weekend. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
That no sound healthy at all. Get healthy, my friends. Stay balanced. Tune into this station, Bess FM-100, every Saturday morning, 8 o'clock to 9, for this wonderful program, Your Health Today, with me, Dr. Clarion Palmer. Yes, get healthy, get healthy, get healthy. Stay balanced. Bess FM-100, Saturday morning, 8 o'clock, with me, Dr. P. Get healthy.
Goodness mercy, it's me again, Lord, your restorer, your game changer. Join me every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. and Bess FM-100. It's Apostle Clive Campbell, aka the Khaki Suit Man, coming to you from 8 to 12 Orange Street, also Richmond District, Mandeville. Embrace the change.
Half a tree, one and drive, half a tree. Bossy, how you do I take taxi star?
Jano, I want to tell you, say, 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and me check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
Yeah, hear me? You waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose the problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. Yeah, hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me, send you.
Wow, you big star. Yeah, man, respect my boss.
Yeah, try and call, cause trust me.
Waiters Auto Spares and Repairs, good afternoon.
Ah, what a relief.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-time taxi service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
Need a cab from anywhere at all. You can call us at 926-3866.
We are something special on the road.
Greetings, brothers and sisters. I invite you to join us for the Church of Our Lord Jesus Christ radio program with Elder Kendrick Murray, where we stand firm that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. This broadcast is heard every Saturday from 12 noon to 1 p.m. and again on Sundays from 4 to 5 p.m. The church is located at 3550 Pleasant Valley Road here in Mobile, Alabama, in the United States. You may visit our website at sonofgodlives.org or our YouTube page at Minister K. Murray, or you may call us at area code 251-300-8812. God bless you, and we look forward to you tuning in to the program.
Bess100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876-276-8935. That's 276-8935.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minett and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Bess100.
Wagwan.
Guten Tag. Buongiorno.
We are
The Kingstones.
I think I love you, Bess FM, because you're better than the rest of them. It's so amazing how I love you, Bess FM, because you're better than the rest of them.
Welcome back. Percival, how do you?
There's a mystery of God. Undertaking it.
That is true. We're continuing on air at an exchange that started off air, just meditating on the many strange things that will happen in your life from day to day that seem to be set to distract you and pull you in a crazy direction. I call them a mystery. And Percy says what?
The mystery is in God, but God knows everything, so we walk in Him. As we bring this week to a close, we started the week resting. Remember?
Oh
Place of
yes,
rest.
yes.
And I'm saying you can rest when you are in alignment to what God doing. And so that took us to different places. I remember we started with seeking first the kingdom of God, and righteousness, and all these things will be added on to you. And the place of rest, as you rightly said, is a place of integrity in spirit, soul, and body. And because God has ordained that for us, so it is so important for us to learn how to rest and for how to work through. And then he invites us to seek his kingdom. I remember what his kingdom was, his character, his way of doing and living. Yesterday, remember what we spoke about? The whole thing of accountability. That each one of us is going to account for reflecting on the former president of Peru, who he was president 2001 to 2006, and now that's like, wow, that's 17 years beyond. If you check it from 2001, it would be 22 years, and now he's in the 70s, and he's being brought back to be given account. And I spoke about the armchair, the rocking chair, yeah.
The two things are a perfect complement. Sometimes when you're in your rocking chair, the most enjoyable thing is just the motion of the chair. This man, one of the things they said is, whilst he was awaiting extradition, he had to be moved from a prison facility back to his home because of his deteriorating mental health. So he's been called to account at a time when he probably won't even recognize his name.
Never remember what is happening.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, that is a blessing and a curse at the same time, but you don't want, that's not how you want to be remembered, if that matters to anyone. But your children, your grandchildren, there must be a desire to walk in such a way that whatever you stood for in your conscious working days holds true on the day you die. Or at best, it improves, because there are persons who start off rough, don't have a pleasant entry into the world, and their early years are not their best. But through repentance and redemption, they end like shining stars. So if you're going to pick a course, I would say that should be the course where you get better with age as you go along.
When you're old and gray, you can look back and have no real regret for the actions you have taken.
Yeah.
And as we talk about account, there are some issues nationally that are not going away. They're not going
and they should not.
They're not going
because the resolution of those issues speak to the future well-being of the nation. So we don't want them to be pushed under the carpet and tacked. Let me see what Taki is saying to us. The little thing that Earl Brown has just shared with us, that we've touched JPS on this issue before. On his electricity bill in Canada, you have 3 different charges based on the time of day.
Right.
We are accustomed to it in telecoms.
Stuff that they want him to move to Jamaica. Remember last week when the gentlemen were there, we asked them that.
Yes, yeah.
We have the system set up to go there, people give us the go ahead to do it.
Right. So he talks about and then there's delivery charge, regulatory charge, plus I don't know what HST tax is, but
like our GCT.
It's a tax.
It's a tax.
And what is Taki saying here? The change is just for the reason of being unable to see. Oh, the spelling.
Okay.
As well as maybe until now I can't understand what caused such issue. Yeah. I see what he means. Yeah. Right, the name spelled different. I understand it. Thank you for explaining.
Yeah, and one of the other issues that it has come back to us. I don't know if it's going to be haunting the Minister of Finance in terms of the teachers.
Yes.
And the
allowances which have been denied them in the reformed payment structure. But
some of them have not been paid yet.
But Percy, it's right up there with how I see the treatment of the Rastas and their sacramental rights, that you appear to do something, and it has the appearance of being a blessing, but in the details of it, it turns out that you've been disrespected.
Because the intention of the heart was not right.
Yeah. Yeah. It is just these window dressing moves. All along, what you had planned was to put yourself in a better position to do what you want to do without being criticized. But yeah, but here we are as it plays out, as people try to take you at your word. So of course, integrity come back to it again. Because when people can't take you at your word and say, all right, Percy said this cup is mine, let me carry it home. You carry it home, police will follow you. Percy said,
what did
Mr. Percival
put in the cup? Let me see what Percy put in the cup. What did Percy put in the cup?
Or Mr. Percival said the cup is only for when you're at work. I hear you gone home with the cup.
No, man.
Yeah, that is.
It cannot be good. It cannot be
That's
good.
definitely a gift that comes with sorrows.
Oh, Jesus. Oh,
yeah.
The
So.
blessing of the Lord, make it rich and add it
And
no
adds
sorrow.
no sorrow. Yeah, that read it this morning.
The issue don't go away. They keep coming back. The same thing. It's the same thing. They wasn't thinking about we.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
On that note, but guess what? We cannot be ignored. We will not be silenced. We will not be shoved under the carpet or wherever you put the unmentionables. Yeah. It's really an interesting time for greater advocacy by citizens on behalf of citizens.
Come on and come back and people look.
Getting,
we have a place. Somebody say, you want to, I found
yes,
a place.
You and I need to discuss that.
Constitutional reform.
Right.
Yeah, so
and so we're one step closer. We have a venue, and one of our listeners is very interested, and I mean he follows up.
Yeah, man.
So did you call him? Oh, so one of our listeners has proposed a place and some facilitation in making it happen. But we do need sponsors because, you know, all of the magic doesn't happen by thinking about it. Persons actually have to invest in getting the equipment in place, the airtime, and so on and so forth. So we'll think through that on the weekend and take a decision on it, and then we'll share with you how we are going to just broaden the conversation and be more proactive in how we inspire others to come on board. That's it for the weekend for us. We're going into our weekend now, Thursday, the new Friday, for the Morning Connection team. Thank you to those back at the studio who have shepherded us through the morning and right here on spot. Mr. Producer, high five. Pastor Percival, thank you also. I know we're going to be studying the papers on the weekend to see what new mysteries have unfolded or what we're going to be doing. Hey, to my brethren online, thank you very much. Sharing the information. We're going to keep pressing on with the JPS conversations. It's interesting to hear that our government has a bigger role to play in bringing the cost of energy down. And we're going to have to press them. And I heard a mango fall. So, ta-ta, we have to go and reap the mango.
What we don't bucket too.
tell her I am chronic. And I said, girl, tell me what's your name? And she tell me that her name is Jamaica. And I said, smile, girl, smile. Smile for me, Jamaica. And I said, smile, girl, smile. Ooh, Lord, smile for me, Jamaica. And never you cry, here am I. Yeah, I'm here for you, Jamaica. Dry your eyes, girl, smile. Smile for me, Jamaica. Lord, hey, she have a rich history. A beautiful woman with the sweetest gifts. Beautiful sunrise and an evening kiss. Of a nice sunset on the evening season. But she tell me, say she tired. Tired of the exploit and the liars. She give them reggae, give them beaches, give them flowers and the ferns. All she got is abuse in return. But I say, don't you worry yourself, mama. Hey, Chronix is here to your help, mama. Ooh, I said, no worry yourself, mommy. One thing me, I beg you do for me. And I say, smile, girl, smile. Smile for me, Jamaica. And I said, smile, girl, smile. Hey, smile for me, Jamaica. Never you cry, here am I. Girl, I'm here for you, Jamaica. What must I try? Oh my. That she asks me, and this I want me say, a sweet, sweet Chronix, you forgive them, give them. The one drop beat pan a rhythm. Are you give them bob with a different step in? Are you give them bolt, nobody can run left him. Boy, but see ya, they must see things, say you're out of ideas. You give them art and sweet literature. You're gonna make the world see the better picture. I said, no worry yourself, mama. Chronix is here to your help, mama. Hey, I said, no worry yourself, mommy. One thing me, I beg you do. And I said, smile, yeah, smile, boy. Smile for me, Jamaica. And I said, smile, girl, smile. Wah, 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 wah. For me, Jamaica. Never you cry, here am I. Whoa, for me, Jamaica. And I said, smile, boy. In the day, boy, boy,
Them can't take my soul, you know.
So you beat them, so you mistreat them, so you lock them down, and you think that you've won, but them a whole a meditation out in a iration. Them a balance the far eye, and I live upright. So tell me where you are gonna do now. Tell me what you gonna do now. Tell me what you gonna do now that the youth are all them roots. You can't water down and dilute. Them a follow Rastafari, and I live upright. So tell me where you are gonna do now. Tell me what you gonna do now. Tell me what you gonna do now. That the youth are all them rules. You can't water down and dilute. You can't hide the truth from the youth. You can't steal the fruit, not the roots. Cause the youth are all them rules. Come with your negative spirits, but the youth them not feel it. Come around with your white lies, trying to blind everyone's eyes, but them a whole a meditation. Oh, in the iration. Them a follow Rastafari, and I live upright. So tell me where you are gonna do now. Tell me what you gonna do now. Tell me what you gonna do now. That the youth are all them roots. You can't water down and dilute. You can't hide the truth from the youth. You can't steal the fruit, not the roots. Cause the youth are all them roots. You can't water down and dilute. You can't hide the truth from the youth. You can't steal the fruit, not the roots. Hey, cause the youth are all them roots. Live up now, you live up now, live up now. Hey, live up now, you live up now. Youth, all your roots. Hey, them can't water down and dilute. Them can't hide the truth from the youth. You can't steal the fruit, not the roots. Cause the youth are all them roots. Water down and cause the youth are all them roots. Water down and dilute. Hold on to your roots. Hide the truth from the youth. Youth, hold your steal the fruit. You, them are all them roots.
You're simply the best. Better than all the rest. Better than anyone. Anyone I've ever met. You're simply the best.
Bess FM-100 on your dial. Keep listening.
Let the sun help you, God. Get healthy, my friends. Stay balanced. Tune into this station, Bess FM-100, every Saturday morning, 8 o'clock to 9, for this wonderful program, Your Health Today, with me, Dr. Clarion Palmer. Yes, get healthy, get healthy, get healthy. Stay balanced. Bess FM-100, Saturday morning, 8 o'clock, with me, Dr. P. Get healthy.
Goodness mercy, it's me again, Lord, your restorer, your game changer. Join me every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. and Bess FM-100. It's Apostle Clive Campbell, a.k.a. the Khaki Suit Man, coming to you from 8 to 12 Orange Street, also Richmond District, Mandeville. Embrace the change.
Half a tree, 100, half a tree. Bossy, how you do I take taxi star?
Jano, I want to tell you, say, 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and me check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
Yeah, hear me? You waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose the problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. Yeah, hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me, send you.
Wow, you big star. Yeah, man, respect my boss.
Yeah, try calling, cause trust me.
Waiters, Auto Spares and Repairs, good afternoon.
Ah, what a relief.
What should a taxi service do for you? On time.
Greetings, brothers and sisters. I invite you to join us for the Church of Our Lord Jesus Christ radio program with Elder Kendrick Murray, where we stand firm that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. This broadcast is heard every Saturday from 12 noon to 1 p.m. and again on Sundays from 4 to 5 p.m. The church is located at 3550 Pleasant Valley Road here in Mobile, Alabama in the United States. You may visit our website at sonofgodlives.org or our YouTube page at Minister K. Murray. Or you may call us at area code 251-300-88